Market back to the upside here this morning, liking this ADP employment change number out at 8:15 this morning. Comes in much lower than expected, 122,000 versus 140 plus on that number. So ahead of, Jerome Powell coming up this afternoon. More employment data to come before the end of the week as well. That's a pretty nice looking market right now, almost 2% at the highs there, 1.83, tough to see, but 1.83 for the Qs and the NASDAQ. Coming on the back of strength in semiconductors across the board off AMD after the close last night. Microsoft really the standout. We had, I guess it's a bit of a mixed bag as far as earnings are concerned across the board. There's Microsoft pins downside in a pretty big way this morning as well, but AMD leading the charge as far as semiconductors are concerned here. So big tech on watch. Yeah, Meta after the close tonight. We'll touch on that, I'm sure, coming up throughout the show, but a ton to look forward to. We're not going to get any change whatsoever from Jerome Powell coming up today, but I read something this morning that said September is now back on the table.
Yeah, that's what I read as well. Almost a near certainty. People are saying that we're going to get a cut around then. So we're going to have to listen to his, what his words, his posturing, some, what he tries to say in between the lines today. That comes obviously at 2:30 when the press conference takes place. So much to talk about today. Microsoft reported last night, AMD blowing it out of the water. Starbucks continues to struggle. And Boeing, new CEO, Brendo, everything did badly, but they're up. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it can only maybe go up from here, I guess, for Boeing, hopefully. What a year. Here's that number I was mentioning, ADP employment change at 8:15 this morning. Got that move in the market going anyways. 122,000 versus 140,000 expected there, again, ahead of non-farm payrolls coming at the end of the week on Friday morning. We'll get more employment data between now and then as well, guys. Busy day, lots to cover.
The Q went up for the good guys. Those are chip names anyways.
Yes.
Wow. So everyone's talking about AMD. Look, AMD's the one that reported, but there was about a minute or two where NVIDIA, and this happened pre-market, where NVIDIA was actually at the same percentage up that AMD was, or maybe like just really close. So NVIDIA, ARM, Micron. Yeah, no, it makes sense. There was also some news overnight where some of the restrictions to China, the export restrictions, are going to get loosened for ally companies. That's great for ASML. But the whole market getting a lift off the chips here. The ES is already 1.15. The NASDAQ's already 2% to the upside on a Fed day that I feel like we're going to be talking about the chips. I might short some Pinterest because they're Pinterest. And then aftermarket, we're going to get Meta. So we still have Meta earnings to come through. I think it's going to be an absolutely wild one. But what's interesting is AMD is doing, last I had checked, it's probably different now, but AMD is doing a fraction of the volume that NVIDIA is. I mean, it's like 15% maybe of the volume that you're seeing over in NVIDIA, which is doing all kinds of power moves as pre-market. So there's really going to be a lot to get to here today. Sometimes everyone says the Fed days are boring when they're not making a decision. I promise you that's not going to be the case. Well, okay, there's almost no chance that's going to be the case here today. So it's chips, lots of chips, and don't sleep on the fact that the ES is actually going to break if we're not already doing so. Yeah, the ES is breaking out of that resistance that we've had for a week and a half. So that puts a lot on the plates here for the market if we can get above these tops. I mean, the NASDAQ's doing something similar. It just hasn't gotten through the highs. But everything is flying right now.
Yeah, we're going to have this, in a minute. It's going to have AMD on it. It's going to have NVIDIA on it. I mean, we were here last night and we watched live on the Market Recap Show and joined tonight as well as more big earnings coming through. Wow, we're already at 111. We showed this bad boy live on the air as Microsoft earnings came out, and we bounced clean off of $100 there for NVIDIA, and I was like, oh no, and then boom, right there to the upside as AMD comes and literally saves the day. If Microsoft's talk of CapEx spending was lower, these stocks would have been absolutely killed. Lisa Su going to be talking this morning as well on another program. It's going to be a nice move here to the upside for NVIDIA. We are lucky. Look, I wasn't that lucky a couple days ago when we bought 114. Lucky last night to buy some 104s. Nice move up there for NVIDIA here. We talked about that yesterday afternoon. And then there goes AMD again, upside. So AMD and NVIDIA are roughly the same valuation. So That's what I said to Neil. It makes sense to me that they'll just kind of go up together here as the whole market looks for a little bit of a relief rally. And then, as Neil said, we're going to be talking chips and dip. So why not dip your toes maybe into some SOX L if you like the whole spot, right? So up almost 13% right now is SOX L. So we're pretty excited about everything here today, Fabian. And I know that Fed is coming, so we'll have to hold on to our horses a little bit there around 2 o'clock. But I think it's full speed ahead, man. It's up 2% again. The Nasdaq's been down 2% a couple days recently, so we're happy to see where we are right now. Oh man, am I going to expect do we expect a short on NVIDIA at the market open? For me,
if it's at $117, that's the level.
No, even then, I don't care what the price is at the open. I don't think NVIDIA. I feel like NVIDIA is going to go meme mode today again. I think there's going to be players that are going to come in and buy it and say, "What in the heck have we done by not buying this thing yet?" Because it is. Look, AMD is the weaker of the two. It's not.
Oh, that's been clear for a while.
It's AMD fell from 230, 227 down to 130, 140, something like that, and then all of a sudden gets this bounce on that. NVIDIA has only. I mean, it's fallen for sure, but it's still down 35% as of yesterday. Now you get a little bit of the back today. So why not try to buy some of this dip back up? Because in August 28th is NVIDIA's report. So, I mean, I just think that you're not going to want to get caught offside there. I mean, this thing could absolutely rip. If this thing's up to 125, 130 by the time the report comes out, I mean, then you're looking at those all-time highs again and wondering why some of those dips weren't bought. So we'll wait to see. I mean, still pretty high valuation there. NVIDIA is still expected to make about $360 a share. We'll see what winds up happening. Still in the 40 PE range. Needs to get a little bit lower for sure, but
you're going to hit some big levels today, I think, on a breakout on the chips of these highs. So, look, NVIDIA is up 7%, and it's $7 away from that 117 level. So it's going to have to go. It'd be up 12.5% if it gets to that 117, but it's been resistance before. The other thing that could get to a crazy level is ARM again. Not Armageddon, but like ARM at that 150 area. It's at 140, but that's $10 from the bottom yesterday. If this breaks out, so I'm always willing to say, hey, if you get to that price, and on a Fed day, if you get to prices like that in the afternoon before the release comes out, where you tend not to get moves in that hour before, and the release is going to be nothing. If we're trading up here, yeah, I think it's valid on the off chance that you get there. Here's 17 on NVIDIA, kind of a similar thing. If you do get there, heck, that's a good move. That's a 5% if it breaks the 112 resistance to get up to 117. If we're chilling out there in the afternoon before Fed, I like just about anything that's at support or resistance in that half an hour that nothing's happening before the Fed. I don't want to put, I'm looking longs, but, I don't want to say absolutely not on any of them. And it's to Sean's point about it rising to all ships. I went to check to see how much ASML was up, and all you had to do is guess what the other ones. It's like 7%. Everything is up 7%. Probably except for, Micron's only about 5, and Intel's probably less than that. But for the most part, all the chips, absolutely flying. Yeah, see, Intel's only at 2%. I mean, I could see shorting. I could see an opportunity to short Intel. Weaker than the rest, still underneath 31. It's not all, and they have to report this week as well. They're Thursday, I believe. So yeah, you want to keep an open mind for sure, and don't sleep on other stocks. Apple 221's right there as well.
Shout out to a couple new sponsors coming on board this morning. Our friends over at Private Internet Access. Yeah, 83% off. Hey, look at that. Good timing. Stonks.com. Win $1,000 a day as well. Go sign up with them also. So 83% off VPN. Stonks.com. You can win $1,000 by guessing earnings. We'll get into more of that coming up later in the show. I want to touch on this real quick. The yen this morning back to 150 versus the US dollar here for the first time since March of this year. Bank of Japan stepping in with, I think I just read it was 36 billion in intervention. The weakness in the yen forcing the Bank of Japan to raise interest rates unexpectedly once again. So huge move down here once again for the yen.
Yeah, this is not, just kind of beyond my scope of comprehension, but what I can see here is a raised about a quarter point up from 0 to 0.1 up to 0.25. We've been hearing a lot about them adding, more liquidity into the market to help shore up the yen, but it's a bit tougher here, Brendo. You and I talking off camera, saying a lot of people taking advantage of the weak yen to actually travel to Japan.
Yeah, I want to be one of those people at some point. But yeah, no, I mean, I was just saying, we had friends that went earlier in the year. They're saying it's still cheap, obviously, but things have been price adjusted accordingly. Like, obviously, they're going to do that, but still well worth going to see a beautiful country at this point. But crazy year it's been. If you zoom out on a weekly or monthly chart for the yen, it's just absolutely crazy price action. Yeah, AMD just went through 2 session lows there. I got an alert in front of me, so we'll keep an eye on that. There's a little one, PITA, just popping up in front of me as well on a volume scanner. It's worth noting some of the Chinese EVs, there's not much on Tesla today. We can touch on EVs though, but Chinese specifically, XPeng, I saw Li Auto and NIO all decently higher here. I mean, XPeng up 4% right now.
It was ridiculous. I looked at that this morning. All the Chinese EVs in good strength. Basically, onshore benchmark achieving its best results since February 6th. So good look there as they look to recover. But it's been tough still trading for these Chinese ADRs as the political headwinds continue to mount here, Brendo.
Yeah, Baba coming up here with earnings. I believe it's next week.
I want to mention, too, that yesterday there was news out of Washington that they're going to actually postpone some of the new embargoes going on to the Chinese electric vehicles, Chinese batteries, Chinese solar panels. That's actually going to be delayed a couple of weeks while they reassess some of the implications of that. So not bad.
Yeah, a lot to look at, to say the least, this morning, guys. Only if you're talking about earnings specifically.
I mean, I was going to ask Sharif what he thinks about, because I looked at NIO. NIO hasn't even done 1 million shares. There was a time, if we had a story that even loosely involved NIO, it would be doing millions of shares pre-market. But I pulled up Li Auto, which could be breaking it down. I mean, it might be breaking a downward trend. Look at it ride the 50-period moving average here on the daily, and you can see it's made a bit of a bottom. It's trying to break out. I mean, technically, from a technical point, I mean, it would look good above 1970, like $20 maybe. If there's just so much out there that looks really, really good. And at these bottoms, I've been telling myself anything that's at a low that's been trending this way, forget about the loose break. It's way more bullish if it gets above 22 than if it just breaks out at 20, because it could break that and still fail the, this 22 level. Sometimes you let it make that rounded bottom and then break out the top. But it's the only one that had like a kind of semi-interesting chart just because of what's happening here with the 50-period moving average. But I got to say, and just to one point, like Rivian Millionaire was like, oh, you had good timing on your ASML buy. Like, okay, so I bought, in my personal account, I bought ASML yesterday. I had zero idea that they were gonna announce that they're relieving restrictions on countries that are allies to them. The stock was at the 200-period moving average in a support level, and I wanted to buy the thing anyways on a dip, and I've been waiting for a dip to buy it. So it is what it is. Like, you could do that. Like ASML did it. If you're doing the same thing on Micron, I'm just going to buy it when it gets to the 200-period moving average. Well, then you probably got it at 101. Then if you're waiting for NVIDIA at 100, it just goes to the point. Like, I mean, you don't necessarily know. It obviously will look good, but sometimes stocks will hit these. Good stocks will hit these key levels like a 200-period, sometimes a 50-period, and get these good rallies. That's why we tend to point them out from time to time. I mean, it's an unbelievable rally in all of these chip names, but you have to remember, okay, great, they're all at 5, 6, 7%, but most of them look like this off of the top. I mean, in Micron's case, they went from 160 to 101. That's an over 30% drop from their highs. So getting up days like this is going to be part of the deal as well. So you're going to see a lot of this with chip names, even as it looks impressive. It's just a fraction of getting back what they all lost.
On the Chinese side of things here, I saw a report yesterday that BYD is coming into Canada, so that could be a good thing right there as well. And if you're just going to look at a chart, we talked about some of the EV space getting a little bit weaker in the last couple of days. with Tesla trying to find a bottom, and Tesla's on the sticky note. The sticky note's now out, by the way. It was out 5 minutes ago. We got it out early. I don't know. I think this is a possibility to dip by some names here that we're not very familiar with on trading because it's a pink sheet name over here on the OTC markets. But what about 56 right here for BYD? So BYDDY, it's going to be over there on the OTC markets. If you guys could trade it, I think there's an opportunity there for this name to come back in a little bit. It's already come off $64. That was its high. You know, we'll have to watch out for some liquidity. It doesn't move a whole heck of a lot. But BYDDY, just one of those other names that we often talk about. Good opportunity there, cheaper alternative, and now, you know, importing here into Canada. So we'll find out if there's anything going on with BYD company. So yeah, that's that. I mean, Alibaba, I think we've talked about that a little bit. That's now one of the sleeping giants over there, I feel like, in China that you should be buying on any dips. And we've been doing that. I haven't bought it lately, but we have a decent average price on that one. So we're pretty happy with Alibaba. And I'm staying away from Li Auto and XPeng and NIO and all the automotives to begin with.
They don't move anymore. It's
I just
weird.
want to bring up Boyd there. Yeah, it is National Uniform Day. This is in honor of a couple weeks ago when I wore this same shirt, and Obi wore pretty much the exact same shirt.
I still haven't seen Obi in it yet, outside of that day.
Yeah, he's saving it for the next time he's hosting.
I feel like he's probably going to do that.
I was like, hey, I haven't worn this in a while. I'm going to wear it now because I know Obi's not going to be here.
It matches, coordinates with the hat.
So yeah, it coordinates with the hat.
See, like the
exactly.
See, like the lining on the inside of the collar. You know, got to coordinate.
Yeah, I mean, the Jays called me up about cut top, but you know, they want to know about.
They need bodies.
Trades. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you guys should probably trade Kikuchi and all that stuff, and they did. I think that was their best haul, obviously.
Yo, they bent the Astros over in the deal. The Toronto Blue Jays, to put it into stock terms, my Blue Jays stink, but to put it into stock terms, effectively, if you're a Houston Astros fan, the deal that they got for one of their pitchers was like if you were able to buy NVIDIA for $70 today. Like, that's how it was, just completely nonsense. Like, everybody was like they got a raw deal. So I'm pretty happy about it. Sometimes you just got to be able to sell and move on. The cool thing about it, if your team stinks and they look for the future, it just means their mind is on the present. One of the things that happens in trading and in life is, think about the sunk cost fallacy. If you've got a stock and it sucks, or if you've got an idea and it's not playing or it's not working out, just because you've invested time into thinking about it or invested time into like doing your chart analysis and all that good stuff. I'm just going to use the example of Li Auto because we were just talking about this. And let's finish the thought here. Like, if you like the idea of Li Auto, but you can't find an entry, and every single day you're like, oh, I keep trying to trade this thinking it's going to break out or whatnot, because you put a bunch of effort into realizing it's a good stock or thinking it's a good stock, at some point, dump it and move on to something else. It's not a core stock anymore. There was a point where NIO was traded on this show almost all the time. And now we don't. The mental capital has to go into other places. So you've got to recognize the situation you're in, recognize the reality. Someone's loading up on NIO at $4, by the way. But until these things start going again and breaking out, put your attention where it lies. That's why it's chips, 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 chips every single day. And I also don't want to sleep on, someone in the chat said I was sleeping on Pfizer, Moderna, and there was one other name. Well, Pfizer, we traded Pfizer yesterday. Pfizer reported, I think regardless of what their earnings are, it's in the middle of a breakout of a channel, and it made the bottom and now it's trying to break out the top. If not for all these chips going crazy, Pfizer would have been on my list. If AMD and none of the chips, if they were all flat, I think I'd be looking at Pfizer for a top break, but I'm not because the chips are too good.
We're going to mention, I don't know, you guys were talking about BYD, but I don't know if you mentioned this, Uber, apologies if you did. Uber and BYD partnering up to bring EVs, 100,000 EVs to Uber's fleet globally, including, Sharif, coming here to a neighborhood near you in Canada.
Uh-oh. We're going to have to see if that actually ends up working that way, because we know on this side of the pond, there's all sorts of restrictions on Chinese electric vehicles. We'll see if Canada adopts that. So here's the deal. The partnership is going to provide Uber drivers with access to discounted pricing for BYD's cars, specifically, though, electric vehicles. It's also going to create a partnership between the two companies to help develop autonomous vehicles. It's going to take place initially in Europe and Latin America, as Brendo mentioned, but they have ambitions to expand in the Middle East, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And there's obviously headwinds for this deal because there's a lot of tariffs being put on Chinese EVs in Europe and the US right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just noting as well, Tesla back in the #1 spot for global EV makers. Also, we're going to mention pins real quick. Just popped up to 35 there. I was double checking if there was anything additional, but I didn't see anything. A bit of a pullback right now for pins, but a ton of analyst moves on this. I mean, the report itself, not bad, but you can see lots of green on here, which means price targets are up, ratings overall either maintained or higher for pins.
It was a good report, Brendo, as you mentioned. Revenue increased 21%, monthly active users up 12%, average revenue per user 8%. The only caveat here was the guide. They didn't guide as much as they wanted. They're talking about revenue of $885 million to about $900 million. That was below the street's expectations, and we saw what happened after that.
Yeah, so as I said at the top, a bit of a mixed bag for earnings here today, guys.
Yeah, well, they're the bad one, I guess. But it doesn't matter, like you said, like okay.
Microsoft is.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Microsoft. Oh, okay, yeah, Microsoft's report was actually pretty solid, but it's much bigger company. When I say the bad one, I feel like Pinterest is not on a lot of people's lists for, hey, what's the thing that I'm dip buying if it breaks into previous support levels? Whereas I feel like Microsoft at 400 was probably on a lot of people's radars, which you can anticipate a bounce there. Like when I saw Pinterest moving down and losing the $30 level, my initial thought is, if this can't hold 30, this is going to be a bloodbath on Pinterest. But it did hold 30, so it doesn't really matter what you think at the end of the day. It's going to bounce to the upside. All I'm really looking at for pins, there's a couple of places. Obviously, the 200 period moving average is here at 36 and a half. And then you've got this sort of obvious resistance area at 35 and a half. So 35 and a half to 36 and a half. There's places where you can fade it. The level 2 is wild on Pinterest does not do volume, do a lot of relative volume. Obviously, it does some volume in the morning. But if you look at this, there is not a heck of a lot on the offer or the bid for that matter. Like this is not like NVIDIA. It's a 30-cent spread on a $30 stock. I mean, come on. Like this one has to wait till the open. You've got to be able to close when it's like a 1-cent spread at the open and you get some true price discovery. But the current high in the pre-market and then just underneath yesterday's like lows before they got dumped on earnings, like that's a spot where I would anticipate support turning into resistance. So we'll see what happens on Pinterest. Definitely a no-fly in the pre-market, almost always on this stock. It just doesn't do enough volume or liquidity. Unless you have some kind of weird strategy that's like, hey, get it in the pre-market, hold it all day, which some people do that. But yeah, you got to be able to get in and get out. 1% spread, yikes.
I mean, look at Meta. Yesterday, Adair and I were watching this stock go straight to the downside on that Microsoft, on pins. But then it came right back, and now we're up 1%. What? Like last night, we were looking at Meta, and we had Brian on, and we were talking about all these levels, and pretty much every single level that we thought coming into the downside was going to probably get tested. We talked about this April low, right into here off their last quarter. It got bought right back up to highs and then faded out again. This is just another buying opportunity, I feel like, for a lot of these names. We'll find out if Meta can do something tonight. But again, bouncing off of support. These are great signs. At some point, we always talk about, like, you don't necessarily want to get those levels because something's wrong. Like, when Microsoft dips in, and I don't want to go over Microsoft too much, but because we will. It's just like when Microsoft dips into 400 there, like at what point, like there's the 20 period moving average. It's Meta, come on. Hold on a second. There's the 200 period moving average is what we're looking for once it loads up. But you drop into this sort of support level, these April lows again, it's like, there it is, right? And so these are buying zones, but then you say to yourself, like when it's at 460, wow, if it gets down to 400, like, something's really gone wrong. Has it, or is it just sort of the revaluation of a lot of these names? I mean, they're flying high. They have huge PEs.
No lie.
So it's multiple contraction instead of expansion. You're seeing expansion in names like Morgan Stanley and some of the banks and JP Morgan, all of these names where you get the shift back over into, I don't know, more cyclical names that may be reflected by these earnings. plays that we've already seen from Morgan Stanley, and then you have interest rates coming out, and it's going to get cut, not today, but what are the beneficiaries of that? Big tech is generally not a beneficiary of lower interest rates because they don't care about that public market or those kind of funds. So they're the ones sitting on tons of cash. They don't need to raise cash. But anyways, Google as well today, getting that move back up, like falls back in, and you say, we're right into this support again. What happens if it breaks? Well, you know what happens if it breaks? You should be buying more. If there's stocks that you like, get out of here. Get that.
Kill it.
I'm fine. It was a fly.
Kill him.
There it is. It's on the big screen now. That's good. I like that little graphic there. Anyways, long story short, I don't think we can wave victory laps or anything yet. But at the same time, it's nice to come in and see the NASDAQ up 2% being led by a lot of these names. I made the mistake of logging in yesterday to the 401k, to the longer term plan. I was like, no, that's a mistake. Logging in, because I was like, where did all this money evaporate to? Hopefully today on open, when I log in, some of it can come back.
Only logging in on up days, everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Might as well just do that just to get a good view again of it all. But hey, it's not profit until it's sold.
Exactly.
At the same time, we haven't been doing that today. What are my thoughts on Chipotle today? Yeah, I'll have, I guess I like the salad. I'll have that, get a little extra guac on there if we can manage to do that. We do have brisket day coming up on Friday, so that should be a lot of fun. And if we don't
we're playing with fire.
Then
assuming Randy will be here on Friday.
Yeah, he said he will. If he's not here, it's his problem. It has nothing to do with Brisket Friday.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's all I want to hear.
All right, back over to the desk.
I'm convinced these flies are now drones. Like, they're living way too long.
I like to send a message, Brenda. When I kill them, I leave them out there to send a message to all the other flies.
It's bad. It's very bad. All right, this is for Ramin. Wingstop up on earnings today, 392 coming into play here. Very, very low volume, it's worth noting. But if you zoom out on this stock, this weekly chart or higher time frame is like very, very impressive. Still trying to hold around 400, was above briefly, but back below today. But nice beat for Wingstop.
Yeah, this really shocked me because we saw McDonald's really take a hit a few days ago, basically blaming a weaker consumer. Domestic same-store sales for Wingstop shot up 28.7%. That is something we didn't see at all with Starbucks or with McDonald's or some of these other names, really, except Chipotle. Chipotle did really, really well. So interesting look here from Wingstop. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, you guys were just mentioning Chipotle as well, but this is another one. Like, this is a weekly chart, just continues to march higher.
Chipotle's the monster. No, what's interesting about that wing? I don't want to play like chartered market technician or anything like that, but you kind of see like a Head and Shoulders when you do. And on a good report, you would ideally be breaking this. 400 is a nice round number, but ideally you'd be holding above 391. This looks like you get like lower highs going into same support, lower bottom. It tries to break out today. It looks like 391 would be a key price, but yeah, I usually wouldn't like this if it's not breaking out earnings. If it fails a break on the earnings day and comes back in, that's usually not the best sign. You want there to be buyers above that resistance after the report. So you'll see what happens after the market opens up here. It's Chipotle, man. Like, this stock did not get this one. I said I was going to, but then didn't buy off of the 50 level. That's obviously a mistake. But it hasn't, like, it broke out once. It might be able to do it again since that earnings, kind of reversal, let's call it that. Like, it was flying in the aftermarket and then it just dumped off the next day. If we can get back through 54, I think it's obviously been a darling of sorts. Our charts aren't split adjusted, but it's just chips today. Chipotle's done 100,000 in shares. And trust me, like, Sean and I aren't sleeping on stocks. We see them that move. Sometimes we might have it in a personal account or whatnot. But today, and almost every single day, you want to trade what's doing volume. And there are days when Chipotle might be on that list. In the pre-market, the way things are flying around right now, I don't know that it is. But still a great company, still a great stock. I've only been there once, and I got to make a second trip. I hear obviously good things. I was there once, like in Philly, like years ago.
You've heard good things about Chipotle?
A few here and there, every now and then.
Wow, Neil.
I might get Chipotle's not bad.
It's a pretty popular thing.
Yeah, so I've heard though.
Yeah, it's only been around 20 years or something.
Look,
We're going to talk about this because we're going to have it. I assume we're going to have this on our rundown. Starbucks is huge today. You know, better sales here in the United States, up 4.5% restructuring plan. This is exactly what we wanted from Starbucks. We talked about this. I haven't said it live on the show. It's like I'm seeing more deals coming in on Starbucks. We talked about that. And I knew that there was going to be at least a chance to hold this level. So this was a name that we had recently bought as well, and we talked about that. So nice to see Starbucks. McDonald's, just because we're talking, you know, about the food and the services here, McDonald's had a great move yesterday, back upside the last couple days off earnings, down here at 245 again, back up to 264. So some of these names are starting to get going. So, you know, good to see some of these beat up names that I know a lot of us would have in our accounts starting to get back up there to the upside. And then, you know, we talked about this again with a few of our guests on Kava. We don't have it here in Canada yet. Probably will be getting it. But this is another one that really performed. It missed its last earnings when me and Adara were on, and we're like, oh my God, here goes Kava to the downside. And then that very next day, it ripped and kept going, making highs at 95 and now pulling back down. Guess who's back? Back again. Randy's back, bringing Clementines. Guess who's back? All right.
XOM.
Why are you loving XOM so much? Like every day I talk, it's XOM this, dividend that, you know, gas this. All right, yeah. I mean, look, you nailed. You were here when we were talking about XOM down at this $100 or so level, and then we had this huge move up, a nice pullback into the 200 period moving average. What's the story with XOM, Randy? Why are you loving this name? Because you know what? Actually, come over to the screen right here. This is on breakout alert right now, Randy. I mean, you're taking out, this is 2023 highs right back into here. And we just recently, back in the spring, made this 123 level. If we take out 123, Randy, sky's the limit on this, you know, major oil company here.
This is largely on the deal they did with Viara to sell their North Sea assets. There's some supply constraints there, but it was a good deal. BP as well. BP earnings driving this a little bit. So a decent play. Don't forget, there's a lot of cash they're sitting on.
But they always do. I mean, that's why they pay that dividend.
Exactly. The higher output plays are in their cards. North Sea, not so much, but the Brits seem to love it. So why not? You know, we'll take it. We'll go on this run and we'll see what happens. There's another play coming.
From XOM or
From
another
XOM.
stock? Okay. So we'll look at, you're not worried at all about like the EV space just keeps getting more, you know, bigger and bigger. People turning over to EVs, maybe leaving oil by the wayside.
BYD registrations in China are off the map. They've got Chinese EVs in Europe, 11% of the market already. Like,
but isn't that a problem for oil then? That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, we still need oil.
Right. I mean, we need oil for manufacturing.
Manufacturing and you know, there's tons of other uses for oil, but it's crazy that the momentum the Chinese EV makers have, it's off the map. So, but
BYD now coming to Canada. We heard that story.
They're coming here as well.
They're coming. They're coming. Close the borders. All right. Brendo and Sharif. It's rundown time, baby.
Holla.
As that's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. But look at this double bottom looking shape over here, bouncing off that 54.50-ish area and then breaking through that 55.25 of the neckline of the double bottom. So that's quite bullish. Let's see if we can continue to move higher above that 55.50 and reclaim it. We have an area of technical resistance there going back to the 19th, guys.
All right, if you haven't done so, you can actually scan that QR code on screen right now or go down to the description below and there's a link waiting for you there. Hit that link, enter your email address, and then you get an absolutely free watch list every single day sent right to your inbox. Has everything you need to know on it in the pre-market. We'll start things off with semiconductors here. As you mentioned, AMD, obviously the one that's reported, but the entire group moving around here. NVIDIA very strong as well. AMD trying to bounce right now, up 8%, better part of 8% right now off earnings.
Yeah, there was nothing to dislike about this report. Earnings beat. Revenue beat, net income increase decidedly. They printed $265 million in profit. Compare that to last year when they took home $27 million. And this was a big one here. The data center revenue growth, 115% year over year as they sell whatever chips they can actually make, GPUs, from Taiwan Semi because NVIDIA takes most of those. Revenue grew as well, 49% year over year in their client segment. But revenue did decline aggressively in their gaming segment, Brendo, 50%. 59% year over year.
It was worth noting as well, there was a number of partnerships announced, AMD partnering with Microsoft, Meta, Google on AI accelerator link standards as well. So stealing a little bit of NVIDIA's action there.
I thought yesterday, we could go over the numbers for AMD. Obviously, as you guys read them, they're on our watch list. Make sure you guys go grab that watch list and scan the QR code below to grab all of the numbers immediately. Look, I mean, we were sitting here, Adair and I, we were waiting. It was 4:15, came out, we had the quote up live, and then it just kind of started to levitate upside a little bit. It wasn't like the most dramatic move up, but it still was good. Now you're seeing it move. I mean, it's up 8%. But that move kind of just danced around here at 142 and change. Nice to hear that they're expecting accelerated revenues, guiding higher. That was really what started to get this name going eventually. And then, of course, I don't chart it overnight. I sort of closed the charts here, I think it's 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then open them back up at 7. But since we've been looking at it this morning, it's been holding this 148 level. I wrote it down on the sticky note here to look for a 145 or so pullback, kind of just into this level. It's where the 200 period moving average is. And again, it's not 200 periods proper because I'm not quoting all 200 minutes here because I told you I've skipped some. But at the end of the day, it's in and around here. I like to see a 145 take or so. If we come back in, if you just look, and I don't expect to get this right on the dollar. I mean, to say I like 145, I mean, it's right here. We talked about that. It's a 200 period moving average. You do have a little bit of a break right into here where you have a little bit of a gap fill from 146 down to 145 there. So I just think that if we can get a pullback in this name, that's when I want to start to buy it. Not afraid to break out long on this stock either. The thing is for breakouts, and this is already going. I mean, again, on the note today, I wrote down a couple plays. AMD long dipped by 145, NVIDIA dipped by 108, but I marked down that I really liked the NVIDIA break of 112. So again, just looking at the 20-minute chart, this is 112. It looks like it was a hold spot, right? Until it, wasn't. So we'll have to wait to see if 112 is the thing that gets us to 116. I think like we're going to see 116 today. It's just a matter of how clean does this break happen? Does it happen in the pre-market? If it happens in the pre-market, I could take it in the pre-market. The problem is, and there's a lot of volume happening in NVIDIA right now, 14 million shares. Probably be 20, 25 million by the time you get to open, right? We don't get the imbalances till 9:25. That's the first thing. The second thing is you could sell off on open because we talked about it. We were lucky enough to get some at 104. If I was swing trading this, I just wonder if I woke up and saw, again, 5 to 7% worth of profit, is that worth selling into the open to make sure you capture some, then letting the rest ride? So a couple plays there. I like a dip buy in NVIDIA to 108. I like AMD to 145. But I look at this. It's already, this is what I'm talking about when it goes meme crazy. It will just, and this is happening right now. You know, it just takes out levels. It doesn't matter. It ramps up when it sees size. Then it just takes it out and just goes. And anything that puts on the offer just gets eaten alive. So, I mean, this is the thing. At some point, NVIDIA is going to go today. And I feel like we might have already missed the boat here. And I'm already getting FOMO. But if you remember, our only trade that we lost on yesterday was Tesla. And it's because we were bidding a level that we liked in the pre-market. And then this happened on Tesla early. Right here, zoom back out so you can see how dramatic exactly it was. Then this happened where we fell down $5 or $6. Scratch that $8 there off the open. Right now, obviously, yesterday was a horrible day, so the move continued. So today being a good day for NVIDIA and the chips, I'm almost expecting the other way around. We could just go, pull back, and then we buy. You see, like there, like that 150, how long did that last? Like, I feel like this is going to go. I'm trying not to have FOMO on this. Thank you, Randy, for the Clementine.
Yeah, shout out to Randy for that. But I'm not going to pretend to say anything different because when on NVIDIA, I saw pretty much the same thing right in here. I have the AMD chart up, but it was a good level at 107.5 or so. But that's like it's an area on the stock. If it dips down into that, fine. 112 sets up for a breakout. 117. If we get there, like I said, if we get to 117 and it's the afternoon, right when everything kind of stops moving around crazy on the Fed, yeah, or in front of the Fed after is a completely different story, then 117, sure. I don't mind shorting that level if we get up there. It's been resistance for several days now. But AMD, you just got to try to find a level that you like it. We like support turning into resistance. So that 145, it's an area more than anything else. I think you're going to get an NVIDIA 112 break, not a 152 on AMD, because AMD is $2 away and not doing a particularly ridiculous amount of volume at this moment. And then there's the only other thing I'll say about the chips before we get into Microsoft here is if we do get that crazy, crazy move up, let's just say, I don't want to forget about ARM at 150. So if we do get a big, big press and things go haywire on the chip names and we're just meme crazy, 150 is still right there for ARM. It's $8 away as we speak. And I'm going to go pay for those locates, 1/8 of 1 cent a share as usual.
All right. I want to take advantage to do something real quick because we're now up. We got a brand new sort of sponsor. It's a real fun thing. It's actually one of the greatest website names of all time. We have stonks.com. Come over here right now. I've registered. Now, you can win $1,000 every single day. You know who this is? This is Ty, man. This is the silverback hero right behind us there. Captain Protein yesterday won $250. He said, and this is honestly, like we're talking, this is great. He phoned me last night. Let's do this up, right? What you can get is 5 extra free entries with the referral code. Scan that right now. I've already signed up. What the idea is you're trying to guess the price at 4:30 for earning stocks. It's actually completely 100% free. Share the link. Get that going. Watch this. Claim free entry. I'm already doing it. All right. Day 1. Let's go. So rate, reward, claim successfully. Thank you very much. All you have to do is sign up. It's pretty simple, right? Now I'm going to make a prediction. All right. Meta's market closing price today, baby. Let's go. All right. So I'm gonna call up a chart here. Let's find out some Meta and let's put this in. And then you know what? Come at me, dog. Let's see who gonna beat me on this.
The best thing you have all day to do it too, right? Like you see the countdown clock going.
Forget about all day. But you are right, Neil. You have. I think it probably closes at 4. We can find that out. Oh, the countdown clock is there. Okay. So look at this. I think Meta is going to beat today. I'm gonna put up here at 4:30. Meta's price is going to be around 490 something. 499.85. Boom. Trader TV Sean is, little bit, what did I win already? A little bit of stuff happening right there. So there it is. Now my prediction is in there for Meta. And they're just dividing this money up, man. You're going to get all, like, look, someone won. These are the predictions yesterday. So there it goes, man. Lots of fun stuff happening. Lots of action over there. Make sure you grab it. The QR code is now gone. Maybe you could put that back up when we get a second. There is also link in description. Make sure you go do that. And we'll be talking about this more, but it's stonks.com. And honestly, man, it's just a fun thing to do. We welcome a brand new sponsor. And that's Ty. I mean, that guy just took home clean $250 US. You know what I'm saying?
Straight cash.
I mean, that's like $1,000 Canadian.
Like Randy Moss.
Like that is a lot of. That's like a lot of money right there. You're not in the Olympics.
About $1 million EC dollars.
Yeah, man, you win gold right there just by making that prediction. So make sure you grab the link in description and scan that QR code the very next time you see it. Right,
best part about it, these are all things that we're all looking at anyways. Let's be real. We are all going to be looking at Meta this afternoon and throughout the day today. We're all going to be looking at Amazon and Apple tomorrow, which you know it's going to be, I mean, whatever. It's going to be one of those on Thursday as well. So have a lot of fun with it, guys. I know we're going to as well. And we like free. Free is always good. Free is about the price of, Mullen stock. Let's talk some softy.
Yeah, go check that out. Absolutely free for stocks. You just found this note on Paramount. Huge pop up here for Paramount. Came right back down. But yet another offer, it seems like, for Paramount.
Yeah, guys, here it is right here. Apex Capital Trust submits a competing $43 billion all-cash offer for Paramount Global, proposes to purchase 100% of the NAI's capital stock and assume $15.8 billion worth of debt. That has been one of the holding points about assuming that debt. We'll have to see how this one gets received by believe it's Sherry Redstone.
Yeah, I mean, that story just continues, it seems. Let's go to Microsoft. Lots to get through here this morning. This was kind of interesting. One-time cash reward. Speaking of cash rewards, Microsoft also giving out 25% of individual employee bonuses after this earnings.
You gotta love that, Brendo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all. All right, earnings beat, revenue beat, everything did well. Overall revenue increased 15%. Net income, this was eye-watering. They took home $22 billion in profit. That still wasn't good enough, though, because the intelligent cloud segment did not perform up to analyst expectations. That's where they have their AI cloud. It fell short of the 28.68 that Street was expecting, only printed 28.5.
Yeah, trying to get back to the upside right now. 1.5%, guys, for Microsoft.
Look, Microsoft, what's amazing about this is just how far we've come back. Like, Microsoft had support at $418 going into this. It dropped below $400 into like $390 range. Again, just like, whatever, like you slap a buy order in front of the 200 period moving average, you get it. So congratulations, like whatever, you get something out of. Sometimes like a little bit of luck. But I love what's going on here. To me, when good news is, or bad news, let's just say, or a bad move in the market is reversed, I tend to think in a general sense that's a bullish thing. Look, Apple just broke 221 already, getting a little FOMO over that. But Microsoft, if it gets above 418, I feel like there's going to be some short-term caught off guard, but it's very clear this 418, previous support into some resistance right now. I think you got to be at least a little bit cautious with this. I mean, I could easily see there being sellers saying, are you kidding me? We're getting right back to that level. Let's pull back. And there's no obvious spot other than the 200 period on the daily, where you got like 404, 405, somewhere in that range. It kind of coincides with some pre-market lows. So Softy isn't really on the top of my radar at this point. Just because Apple's through 221 and NVIDIA's pennies away from 112 and AMD had the earnings. So yeah, I'm going to play this one by ear. I think a lot of people are off guard, oddly enough, if we can hold above 418, and that could give you a little bit of a rally. But I think I want to see the opening range on Microsoft. Because if it dips down into 405, it just feels like a level that you want to have. And I don't know if it's going to get there. We'll see. If the market's dipping, I already kind of preferred AMD.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to everybody as well that if you are looking to trade Microsoft, I feel like the best thing to do on this situation would be to wait for the open to hit. It was such a whoosh yesterday. It was like dramatic down into that 390, man. I mean, and look where it stopped, on a dime to that April. I keep saying April low, but it is April 30th. So this April low right there, right? I mean, it was like a perfect move right back into that level. So, and then it's almost like there was no report. I mean, again, Microsoft, very disappointing as far as the movement in the volatility. It's great to be back up, but we were expecting a 4 to 5% move. Now you come in and it's only down 1.6%. I feel like we could, look, they beat everywhere. The quarter's fine. It's just its expectations, its revaluation, nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of these stocks. It's just it came back in, was high up, came back into that $400 level. So I'd wait for it. Like, I'd wait for like a 4. I don't think we're going to flush, but I don't think there's anything wrong with VWAP down here at 413, 412. I don't think there's anything wrong with either. Wouldn't be surprised if we came right back to where we were an hour ago, down here at 407, 406. I just think it's way too risky to look at Microsoft here right off the open. That's my sort of 2 cents on this. I don't really trade earnings plays right away off the jump. I find them they're too hard, especially a $400 name. I mean, it's different if you're looking at, I don't know, Uber, something $60, $70.
Pins.
Names that, Pins. Pins a little different because I'm not sure the liquidity, but yeah, like Intel would be a good example of one that we know is going to do millions of shares, and you're probably okay with it. The one thing, again, I'm going to go over this one more time. You see, scan this QR code right here, right now. If you think you can figure out, and again, don't just go to the website, guys. Scan the QR code, okay? Because we're trying to show that the stonks.com that we have the best viewers around, and that we are strong here at Trader TV Live. Scan that QR code, man. Give us the referral. Go over there and try to guess where Meta's going to go. Because, hey, man, if the silverback protein Captain America, Canada, behind us can win, I mean, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. Don't get me wrong. But we can all, come on, man. You know, we sit here every day and look at prices. You know what I mean?
Come on, son.
And my strategy there was, someone said in the chat, why am I saying Meta's going to go to 5 bills after hours? Because that's the way you win these contests, baby. I mean, you got to pick
something.
You got to go for it. I mean, why can't Meta get up to 500? If you think Meta's going to miss, I mean, Meta on not even their quarter went down $25. There wasn't even a mention of Meta. Down $25 because Pinterest missed, because Microsoft, which is now almost up, Meta's now up after being down $25. What if Zuckerberg says something? This thing could go to 5 bills. Let's see their CapEx spending. Let's see what they're talking about. Anyways, that's what we're doing. It's a new thing. I like Meta tonight. I like Microsoft today. I just would rather dip buy than look for breakouts. You know, it's kind of a relief. You know, yesterday when we saw this name down that 8-9%, it was a problem. Now it doesn't seem that much of a problem at all. This just seems like it's even down less than it was yesterday. So we'll wait to see here what happens with Microsoft.
That doesn't happen often. Moves like that don't happen often.
Yeah, no, I'm Neil's the recap show today and tomorrow, and then I'm going to be doing Friday because he did last Friday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then I'm gone after that. I'm gone all next week.
London.
Yeah, but I'm only going for 5 days. I should have tried to make it a little bit longer, but
you got baseball to take care
of. We got baseball. All right. We still have Boeing.
Wow, Boeing.
We had the best stock in the market, Starbucks after that.
And the worst.
And then we have Pinterest.
Yeah, lots to get through. Boeing right back down. We did get a move higher here on this CEO swap. But we've given it all back here. Still positive on the day, though, to the tune of about 1%.
Yeah, new CEO incoming with respect to actually how they performed. The loss widened for Boeing in terms of EPS. They printed about a loss of $2.90. Revenue declined 15% down to $16.87 billion. Total actually take-home money, they lost about 1.44 in profit. And they faced challenges, obviously, ramping up production of their 737 MAX. And as a result of that, they haven't been able to meet their deliveries. So aggravating the carriers as well, Brendo.
Yeah, I just heard a note on Starbucks there I was checking, but not moving around, guys. Thoughts on Boeing?
Boeing is in the midst of a potential breakout here. So look, forget about, who cares? Earnings are just a thing and it's price action that's going to matter. $194. I didn't quite get this line exactly right, but $194 on the daily is a big breakout. Then the prior resistance is here at 197. That's an interesting no-fly zone, pun intended. Like it goes into that range. I want it to come out of the other end of it to the upside, hold above the 200-period moving average, and then I'm buying in my personal account, I think, and it will probably be a swing back to like 180 or something. But as far as today goes, yeah, are we getting a break of that level? Are we breaking 194 when we're at 100? We already got up there and faded it back into 188. So if the day trade breakout is this far away, and we're imminently going to get other names that are doing way better volume, I like the level. I'm going to set up an alert for it. No questions asked on Boeing at 194. But as far as thinking that we're going to get there today, not really. And I don't have any dip buy ideas on Boeing. So, you know, it's not making that break. You just saw it reject that same level and pull back $6 now.
Yeah, so Boeing, again, it's not a story that I've actually even really looked at here. I do know Boeing's on a nice little run as of late, coming off of some of these bottoms. And again, this is just, you know, we wait. Like, I called up this chart already today, and I'm just waiting for some of these breakouts, right? That's 192.50. So, I mean, I could have wrote this down today. You're up 1.25%. Here, but as Neil said, we'll have to wait to see. We've already sort of touched that high. Let's see if it can get through this. It's 193, I guess. Let's call it 193, 193.50. We've already been up there. Has a chance to get going. If it can break it in the pre-market, that will be absolutely fantastic. We will get the imbalances coming out in a minute, which could change everything. So more coming very, very soon on Boeing, and we're going to check out if it can get there today. I think you want to trade it, but I don't think you want to trade it till we break. Let's just use even the pre-market high. I mean, that was made at 8 o'clock, so I think that's still pretty valid. So 194 or so break get a little bit better with it. I mean, 193.50 is what I was looking at earlier. So, yeah, I like it. But honestly, for the volume and everything, I'm going to be looking where the tech lies today.
Starbucks to the upside this morning. I mean, it was a miss, but on the revenue side, EPS in line with expectations. But don't worry, because the action plan is beginning to work.
You mean the pumpkin spice lattes that they're apparently going to boost revenue? I don't know, because they keep missing revenue. Revenue miss again. 9.11 billion. The street was looking for 9.25. Same store sales. This is not a good look. Declining, global decline of 3%, about a 2% decline in the U.S. They saw the worst performance in China as they met more competition there. 14% decline in same store sales in China.
PSLs all year round.
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, it's 5% here this morning, so not bad.
It is 5%.
No, I'm not a PSL guy, man. Those are very, very sweet, the PSLs.
Way too sweet.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy them whatsoever. I don't know. I probably won't say anything that you would say. I don't know if I'll trade Starbucks today, but daily chart, $80 looks really spicy. Pumpkin spicy. Terrible pun. If it breaks the $80 level, you guys can see that in here. This one actually does set up a reasonably good dip buy, unlike Boeing. The 50 periods or the 50-period moving average is going to be right back at 78 on the daily. So if it were to pull right back in, that's 78 in the aftermarket. This is 78 in the pre-market. So it's set up, I would say, much better for a dip buy than Boeing, at least at that 78 level, kind of diddling in the middle right now. It's either breaking 80 or I think dip down to 78. Even would be the two plays.
Yeah, so Starbucks again. I mean, I like the talk here because we do know that the activist is in there, and now they've released this 3-part plan that they're going to try to sort of rejuvenate or revitalize this brand. And I was talking about this before. I like it. I think it's pretty iconic, obviously, there with Starbucks. Hit this big key level down there at 72. We stepped in and were able to buy some. So this is a nice move back up to the upside there. A 9% increase in North American sales. I think that's pretty huge. So, I like the stock. It's not doing so much volume here, 277,000. So I'm a little bit nervous. Look how choppy it was. In the post market there off earnings. So I'm a little bit nervous for that. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe right now, if you can. Hit the like and subscribe, and make sure that you pass it on to your friends as well. Well, there it is right there. Bang. There goes NVIDIA. We talked about this, man. Where was the imbalance going to come? I like the 112 break. It looks like it's happening right now. Again, it's 9:27. Like, if this was just 10 minutes later, then I really would be hammering this level. So I do want to keep it on my mind for now. Tesla's a 224 level that we had potentially looked at as well. I don't really see anything else on here that should be of any worry or any look. I mean, Palantir, I still like that 27.75. Needs to get back up there if we can break that level. There's Microsoft with a bid. Microsoft's going to go green on open. So how do dem apples taste right there? You're $30 in the money if you somehow knew that this 390 would hold. Look at Microsoft breaking through 420 right here is what's going to happen right now. So with only 2 minutes to go, guys. Oh, we still have Pinterest to go. All right, let's go back over to the desk and do Pinterest real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Pinterest downside off of miss, as we mentioned. 35, a bit of a sticking point here this morning for Pinterest. Tried once to get above it, failed. We're heading in that direction again.
So the real bad look here was the revenue guidance. That's what sent the stock aggressively down. They beat on revenue. They beat on earnings. Revenue grew 21%. Global monthly active users grew 12%. ARPU, average revenue per user, grew 8%. It was the revenue guide coming in at $885 to $900, below the street's expectation.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty key area, guys, if you zoom out on a daily chart for pins 35, 36.
Ripped up $3, by the way. It's at
Tesla also.
422.
Tesla ripped $3 as well. So
what's
Pinterest,
at 500
200-period moving average, $36.50.
Oh my God,
I'm looking pop and fade in that one. But with only 1 minute to go, like, NVIDIA's already at 113 on that 12 break. Tesla just went to $228 to the upside. Apple has already broken that 221, come back through it. So Apple looking like the one that didn't go. And there was no imbalances that I saw in any of these names, with the exception of NVIDIA and TSM. TSM had a buy balance, but the chips are flying. But that move in Tesla, now 2% to the upside, 9 for NVIDIA, 9 for AMD as we run into this close. Also, just very quickly, CrowdStrike. Crowd has been bad for multiple days in a row now. If it sniffs 250, that's a big level for Crowd on a reversal. If it gets into that range, I'd be looking short off of that same level again. But no ideas that we're going to get there. Because if you were going to pop, I feel like everything that was going to pop just made an indication that they were strong. And if you didn't just go up, then maybe you're a weak stock in the last couple of minutes or so. So we got less than 20 seconds to go here. Let's get the countdown going. It's going to be a wild and crazy Fed day, but it's not about the Fed. It's about the chips. It's about earnings. So let's ring it in 3, 2, and 1. Sharif getting in there.
There we go. All right, man. I'm already I'm not on tilt or anything like that, but NVIDIA's at 114. I mean, we talked about the greatest break of all time happening at 112, but unfortunately, you had to have been there pre-market, and it's something that normally we're trying to do, but there is the move up right there for NVIDIA. I mean, a little bit of a pullback into view up would be nice as well, but that still is 111, so I don't know if that's going to be doing anything. Quick little look there on AMD. What a great open it's been. 151 and change starting to go as well upside. So, yeah, man, for right now, I'm just going to try to sit on my hands a little bit here and wait to see if we get NVIDIA to maybe pull back. It's trying to, but it's not enough yet for me. Amazon, we liked that trade as well, 184.50. Let me just have a quick look to see what Amazon's doing. So that's at 185 and change and still trying to go back up. I am thinking about getting into fade camp a little bit here, but let's just wait to see if that is the right play or not. NVIDIA trying to pull back in. We just take a first little long on NVDA right now.
Yeah, get right back into that 112 zone. Pinterest opened up, and maybe not the amount of liquidity I was expecting at the open, so I'm still going to play that one by ear. It hasn't opened. The spread's still like 30 cents on Pinterest. I do want to be short, but I do not like a 30-cent spread at all. That's one name that we did like to the south side, but now that you're coming back in here, you got VWAP at 111. On NVIDIA, I did say there was a chip name I was willing to short. It was ARM150, and the other one was going to be Intel. So if we sustain this move down, Intel's already gone. I'll have to wait for some kind of a pop. Back into like 30 and a half or something. Intel's getting absolutely rugged at this moment. It's the only one that looked weak, and there it is.
Intel's getting rugged?
It was 2% when everything else was 5 to 7%.
Right.
It probably was just a flat bottom break. It probably was, and I should have had it.
Well, here comes that profit taking that we talked about could exist here on NVIDIA. So it's coming in. We do have a position, but it's right here at 111.90 right here is what we have. So we'll wait for it now, but it is coming in quite nicely here. Watch out for 110. I mean, again, the 200 periods over here at 109. I mean, that might have to be the Alamo spot there. Where we make a decision on that. Okay, so we'll wait. We're still waiting for it. If it comes down to 110, we're going to get a little bit more. Tesla, though, man, up 2.5%. Again, we wanted that 224 level. I mean, how good was that? But we're not getting it right now. And of course, we write those levels down well before. I mean, the sticky note today was out at 8:30, so it did pull back right into that 224 level. I feel like we got it, but not well enough on that one. Bitcoin still 66.5. So we won't really look at that. Microsoft, duh. I was like, there was another big name we're supposed to be looking at. Microsoft right there makes that move to positive land, I believe, at 423 or so. Close enough, almost turns green there on Microsoft. As you see my screen just flicker right there. 415 and change. It looks like Microsoft's pulling back in. All right, come on, NVIDIA. We've got those shares on. Let's see now if it wants to come back up to the upside. It's NVIDIA trying to work. We'll see if we can add a little bit more to this. This could be your big banger of the day already. Let's go NVIDIA, or it could be a loser. We'll see, but Amazon back down to that 184.50 as well. The market's still not overly healthy yet, pulling back, up 2%, but couple down ticks right now, Neil. We have 4 or 5 candles in a row now to start the day red.
Yeah, and it's looking nasty there. I got wicked out of NVIDIA, wick shimmied, if you're going by what Sharif says, and was able to get back in. So it ran the 111 price. I got back in on the quarters on the way back up and just got 19s, but sometimes it's really, really obvious. Pinterest got to $36, like exactly $36. Wall shorted it. We wanted to short the pops on Pinterest. 36 to 34, this is right in the pocket. If it fails a 34 breakdown, I'm getting out of this sucker and just take the money and run. It still doesn't have a lot of liquidity on it. It just had a 15-cent spread when it popped back up through 34. So we said we liked Pinterest off of the 200-period moving average. That was it. It popped in. Sorry about the dark pool wick. If it traded to 41, a lot of people would be happy. It did not. Right up into 36 exactly here on pins. So 1 and then 2. We're going to ring the register on that one. The only things we liked short this morning were Pinterest and Intel, and we didn't get any Intel. That's for darn sure. But we'll see what happens on this one. I feel like it's about to come into VWAP. If the market's going down, this was already weak. Lower hanging fruit sometimes is what you want to pick.
Yeah, I think you always want to do that. Yeah, you always want to get the lower hanging fruit. That is.
Well, make sure it's fresh. Make sure it's ripe
being lower
as
hanging,
well.
Right, it's ready to pick. It's right there. It's easy. Okay, so
speaking of
look, I mean, speaking of easy or not, we've had to withhold a little bit of volatility here early because it moves the downside, right? And so Amazon, we did talk about this level at 184.50. I thought it was a good break level there. It was sort of the pre-market. Again, we had written this down before any of these levels were even developed. And it was kind of just trying to break out from here from yesterday. So that was that sort of high yesterday. I feel like if the market wanted to be up 2% today, there was some sort of a chance that take it out. Remember, just because you're up 2% has nothing to do with anything. It's just where it is right now. So we'll have to wait to see if that can go. But here we go, man. It's now 30 cents in the money on Amazon. And we'll take a piece out. So right there, we'll go 1 for 1 so far right now with Amazon. And we have more to go. So let's see. I'm still waiting at O's there, 185 flat for Amazon. So a good little take there. That's 185.50. Let's put an order up there. Not in case, for when it gets there. And then it's just my other trade is NVIDIA, and we're just waiting on it, right? I mean, we didn't take it out yet. We talked about that 110 area as being potentially something special, so we'll see if it can get down there. We probably could have taken something out for profit when it blasted up to 112. We'll see if we can get that out again. AMD also trying to hold the 200. So there are a few things happening right now for sure, but there goes Amazon. It's 30 cents, trying to break 185 now. So up, and away for Amazon.
Yes, sir, and up away for Amazon. And if you're trading any of those names, then trading on public Wi-Fi is risky. Use data. Your data is exposed, like sending private messages in a group chat. Private access, PIA VPN encrypts your connection, creating a secure tunnel for your data. Trade safely from anywhere, airports, coffee shops, or hotels without fear of hackers. PIA also bypasses geo-restrictions, giving you access to trading platforms and content from over 91 countries and all 50 U.S. states. Protect your trading activities with PIA. Get 83% off at just $2.03 a month, plus 4 extra months free. Sign up now with our 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 support. Rated excellent on Trustpilot. Shout out to them. And rated excellent in the stock market is NVIDIA. 112, right back on the bid, so it holds the pre-market lows, now flying through 112. For upside levels, 114, obviously, because it happens to be the opening range top. And if we can hold 112, go stair-step, 2-set upside. I am short not NVIDIA. We're not short NVIDIA. We are short Intel. I am short Intel, I should say, figure of speech. It just wicked VWAP. So I shorted it back underneath here at 54. Well, 53s and 54s. So we're giving it just above VWAP, about 10 cents. The low of the day here, 30.40 is the effective low, even though there were some crazy wicks down to 28. So we're going to start getting some out in the 40s on Intel. Not nearly as strong as its brethren.
There it goes again, man. I mean, honestly, the sticky note's going to go 2 for 2, and they're absolutely monster plays right there. It's another trophy morning. It's 9:38. We'll lift it up here on just 2 trades, right? I mean, this is what we're trying to do every single day. Sometimes I understand it sounds like bragging, and I'm glad that you guys talk about this on the chat. I'm just here to show you that the trades I'm putting on are winning trades. We're net P&L positive, and it's what's happening. So we can either lie about what's happening and tell you that I'm losing on everything, or show you what's actually happening, and that's these trades. So there it goes, man. It's your first Dollar Club winner right there, and it's on big boy shares.
Second.
We're not trying to. My first one. What was the other one?
Pins tank $2 off the open.
Oh, pins tank $2. Okay, but big time movement right here. And again, you got to have shares on. Got to have shares on for when this happens, right? So there it goes right there. It's a banger right there, man. This is exactly what we're talking about. We come in today, we put on again and again, and Neil talked about that. Let's put our third one back on right there. There it goes. It's Amazon, now $1 in the money, Neil. So we're going to go perfect. We're going to be net positive. It is what it is. There you go. Thank you, YouTube. I mean, it's not about that. It's about showing everybody that we can trade. We're doing that every single day. It's another big one here. It's trading. It's great. We love it. And the profits are flowing in right now, man. It's a monster morning. And again, I look over and I see, we have good trading happening a lot of the places right here today. So a lot of good strength coming through. I mean, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to, look to trade and get some more shares flowing. But for right now, man, it's NVIDIA. And yeah, man, we put on a lot. And now we're at $1.50 in the money, and very, very, not just proud of ourselves, but proud to have gotten these right over and over again to show you exactly what we're talking about. There's the break right there. It's written right on here, 111. 112. Thank you so much, Fabian. It's written right on here, 112 break. So there it is, $1.50 in the money. It's also written down on here, Amazon 184.50. Amazon is at 184.56 right now. NVIDIA, $2 now in the money on NVIDIA. So there we go, man. It's a monster trophy day over here. We're glad to do it, man. Damn London, it's glad to take a break. But if this is how the markets be like, then I'd be happy. And there it goes, man. Monster day over here, Neil.
Yeah, we got back-to-back $2 winners.
Wow.
I'm out on NVIDIA looking for the next dip or a break of the high, 114. Looks like it's going to come into play. But Intel was a short. And Intel broke VWAP and came right back underneath. So it's the old wick out, and if it's right back underneath resistance, I'm jumping right back into the same trade. So we're still breaking. The market is taking highs. Intel is still relatively weak, which means if it's the thing I like short and you're at a top, I'm going to go right back into it, giving it the same level that it just wicked the highs of. Let's see what happens next. We are looking at AMD as well. AMD is in the midst of a breakout, but I don't think it's nearly as impressive as what's going on over there in NVIDIA.
Nope.
Anything over 112 is going to be good. I also like Pinterest if we can get some kind of a dip, a pop, back into that 36 zone. 35 is going to be in play. We are able to get 35.99, down into 35, down into 34. You just had to wait for the stock to open up. This is trend down. This is weak. The report, it was down 15% on their report, now 7.5%, and absolutely tanking here to said downside. So the only thing that we just got back into was Intel after taking that hit when everything was running the tops. It's right back underneath VWAP. Still looking for the same target area. We're still looking for those 40s, then 30s, and then we'll go from there.
I love you too, Rivian Millionaire, and I hope that you're able to put a little bit of cash there in the pocket. I'm just going to once again post up here about NVIDIA because I'm pretty happy, as you guys can see here with this trade. It's been a good one here, and let's just continue to work the magic on NVIDIA, man. I mean, it's now $2.50 now in the money, and we've been taking it out, and it's been great. So there goes NVIDIA, huge mover once again to the upside, and it doesn't want to stop. So we've been taking it out. Again, station to station, exactly what we're doing. It's a big positive stock. It's not going to be, I mean, like Neil mentioned there, there was spots to get out if it did break lower. We looked at 110. So if we're going to go long at 111.50, we need to have a $2.50 winner, right? And so that's exactly what we have right now. It's an absolutely monster day. We're already up more today than we were up all day yesterday, and yesterday was this day. So it's back-to-back trophy days, and now we're almost double what we were up yesterday. So it's so far so good here. And again, stick to your plan. It's only about plans. It's really about nothing else. Stick to your plan, make something happen. And I mean, we're here to trade. So that was a good one there. Amazon, now I only have 20% left of Amazon. That ripped up to 186. If it fades back, it fades back. We'll see what that's all about. But for right now, that's what we're doing. I'm going to try to hold on to NVIDIA. I have about 15% left of NVIDIA and about 20% of Amazon. So we're going to look for some more strength coming, but the market just right now dipping down. So I think some of the shorts like Intel there and whatever might be the play for now as we just faded off of 19.4. Let's see what happens here.
ARM just
ARM tanked. Yeah, so we got to, did it tank?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we got to watch out because NVIDIA, if some of these names are a little bit
double top.
Right, I was going to say the word vulnerable, like because we've been up so high. So let's just be careful and see what's happening right now. But big day, guys.
Right, I didn't hit the accept on. When we're at real trading, sometimes you have to pay for locates. They ask you to accept kind of like two-factor authentication. So I actually don't have the locates on ARM as it's breaking to the downside. I'm going to get there in a quick second. It's nowhere near the top, so I have plenty of time to do this. But on the way back in, if this market wants to pull back, VWAP and 112, which is the exact same level on NVIDIA that was the original breakout zone, ends up holding 111, but 112 is coming right back on the pocket here. If we're able to get that, that's the only place I want to get back into it. And let's go to Adara at the desk.
Couple seconds here until we get that Chicago PMI print here for the month of July, coming in at 45.3. Analysts were looking for roughly 45 here, and we got the previous print here of 47.4, so slightly above estimates, below the previous print here of 47.4 for Chicago PMI for July, coming in again here at 45.3, guys.
Too early here with Amazon. I'm just tweeting it out so you guys can see some of the plays that we've been having right there. There's the 184.50, right? I mean, we put that right here on the sticky note. Go find it at Trader TV, Sean, and you'll be able to hopefully trade with me and like me and understand what exactly we're doing. But there's your 184.50 right there as given. Mentioned right here, 184.50 on the sticky note. I'm going to go post it up and you can go find that. As we do have some numbers coming out right here, so let's just figure that out as we go. We're still trying to hold on, though, to some of this NVIDIA, right? I mean, we did top it out there. Our best fill is, I think it's 114, almost exactly there. Yeah, so look at all these fills that we had up here. 113.60, 113, 114, 113.80. So that's why we're getting light on this name, but it doesn't matter because it's coming all the way back up right now for this name. So there it goes, man. Another $1.75 now in the money and still ripping. So that's it. We've done it, man. We've done it good again. So it's going to be another big day. Let's just see what winds up happening. But for right now, it's all good. Microsoft, maybe, Neil, pulling back into 413. We told you to stay away from this name, and it looks like that's the right call.
Let it drop.
Staying away from that one. I know you got that Intel short, so we can look at that. That's probably a good one. Other than that, man, yeah, we're just trying to do the best we can here in this so far.
I'm trying to let Microsoft get in here a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, it's only at 413. I kind of had eyeballs on 405 to 400 as a possible level, and it's dropping. I mean, it's dropping way more than the overall market. I'm just showing you guys the black chart because NVIDIA is still testing the 112 level. We'd like to see if it can get down into 112. We'll go back to a 3-minute chart so you can see a little bit better on VWAP there. Yeah, we're trying to get down into this 112 VWAP area. It's not really doing it. If you're wondering what that green thing is above 114, that's a limit order to break out the top. That's all. So I am willing to take a break of the high to go back into the long or look for the dip down into 112, whichever one happens to come first. And Genrotin, I don't know that. I can't. If I get the name wrong, apologies. If Microsoft gets to $390, I would be surprised. But I will probably have a long off 400 if that's going to be the case. I have eyeballs on Microsoft for sure, but 390, that aftermarket low seems a little bit unlikely. So breakout potential here on NVIDIA, dip into VWAP, still kind of diddling in the middle with NVIDIA. And Tesla 232, but Tesla wasn't necessarily on the radar, to be honest with you. So Tesla 232 looking absolutely fantastic, but I'm locked and loaded for this break on NVIDIA any second now.
Tesla 232, wow. Okay.
And still going.
Yeah, again, that's another one where we nailed the bottom, but it's a pre-market bottom that I could not have called live. So I was not going to try to take it. So, all right, we could try a little bit of Google here. You're back into the 200-period moving average again. GOOGL right there. So we're back into the 200-period right now on Google, trying to fly through. This name again, oh, by the way, we're back into $2 now in the money on NVIDIA as, you know, we're still climbing pretty high right now. But anyways, I feel like this might be worth a shot. Those bottoms right here, I mean, you know what, I'm going to actually pass. I'm going to pass on Google. So puff and a pass, because that, I mean, it's below its breaking. I don't want to just take something just because of where it's at right now. Let's give it a couple seconds right there. Obviously, Neil, I mean, I guess he just got stopped out of Intel there because...
It just made another fresh high.
Yeah, just made another fresh high. So there it goes again. Another one right there for Intel starting to go back up there to the upside. So a tale of many different stories, right? I mean, we stay with the strength and we stay with the... you know, the strong plays in the market. And, you know, it's just so far so good here, working out one more time today. This is that sticky note that I keep talking about. There it is right there. Amazon 184.50, boom. NVIDIA 112 break. Should see 116. So let's see if that can come through right now. Hey, man, it's a monster day. We're almost $3 in the money on this NVIDIA trade, and there it goes. So, I mean, back to back, right? I mean, it's just... that's trading for you. Some are going to win, some are going to lose, and that's what we do.
Yeah, just because I actually see here, Adam DeLue said, do you like the reload? You're giving it to 30.80. Everyone's going to have a different stop level. Like my stop level that keeps me green all morning yesterday, like today is going to work out a little differently. Like if I give it more room, fair enough, but I'm kind of eyeballing 31 at this point on Intel. When it breaks here, I'm looking at the 31 level. It's still relatively weak and hasn't broken out the top like NVIDIA is threatening to do. Apparently, NEO's going. I do see that NUZE that is halted, but I'm not terribly worried about it.
Not trading.
You know, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Like NVIDIA looks like it wants to break out this 114 and go into a bit of a dip buy. A breakout trade is going to be a lot different from a dip buy for me. Like if it's not going right away off a 114 break, I'm not holding all the way back into 112. You know, a breakout trade like that, like if you're taking first profit at $2 in the money, then risk $2. But on a breakout trade, I'm taking first dollars in the first push in that first dollar. Almost every single time, that's how we're going to play it. I still would like to jam back into Pinterest if we can get some kind of a pop. It started to settle down, can't seem to get back above VWAP. So I think VWAP is going to make some sense in here. Again, not everything is strong. This is still a relatively weak name. And down 10% does make it SSR. Let's go over to the desk.
This part of the show brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Yeah, look, this is real trading, right? We talk about it all the time. Make your plays, make your calls, look down at your net, see profit, take profit. I mean, it's just it's trading. It's what it is. We now have back-to-back jacks. We're 2 for 2 today, and it's been a big day. And again, you know, it's just stick with what you're doing. Figure it out. Starbucks right here. You know, a little bit of a pullback. We talked about this one not having too much volume there in the pre-market, but it has pulled back to a decent level. And again, this is why it's showing up. It's back to the 200 period right now. So a stock that's relatively strong. I don't mind trying this name. Again, it's a good thing we kind of stayed away there. Let me just check back on Google to see if my sort of the Spidey sense was right on that one. No. So right there, we could have had, and we were thinking about buying this down here at 179. Wow, that'd be 70 cents in the money if we just followed our instincts right there. Maybe you guys did. If you guys trust me more than I trust myself, maybe you would have had a nice little winner right there. So on that note, let's go in. There we go. Oops, wrong stock. Let's take a little bit of Starbucks right now. So we'll just punch in. We'll get some 79s right now on Starbucks. So if this one wants to go back up to the upside, we can get this one as well and try to go 3 for 3 here today. But hey, again, man, it's not like it's easy to do this kind of stuff. I mean, we've talked about this over and over again. But here it goes. I'm going to wait for 115 and change. I mean, when things plan out and they go exactly the way you sort of think, it makes things look a heck of a lot easier. So we'll put another offer right here in and around 79 bucks for Starbucks. Maybe we have the bottom, maybe we do not. But if we don't, we're going to get out at 78.50. So far, so good, man. We're going to go 3 for 3. Boom! There it is again, man. It's a hot dog cannon for a trade we just put on one more time. And right there, Starbucks immediately goes upside. So we'll take out only a third as we're not really expecting that. The big money today, we talked about this, is going to be here with with NVIDIA and then Amazon. So for me, it's that. If Starbucks wants to go, let's see what's happening. And the professor, of course, brings to my attention Tesla, which is a monster. I mean, congratulations, anybody that had that. Sticky note has 224 that we wrote down at 8 o'clock. That came in, though, but not until 9 o'clock. Now it's blasting. Oh, yeah, here we go, man. It's a monster day. Like I said, yesterday was a big day for us, and today we've already beat that. So it's been really, really good, and that's that. So, yeah, man, my offer on NVIDIA is $115.50, Neil. We're going to try to make $4.
NVIDIA just broke 114. We just got into it. Love that NVIDIA play. Looking like a fantastic one in here. Breakout different from dip buy. If we fail the 3/4, always try to talk about the next idea when we break it out. If we fail the 3/4 out, look for VWAP again off of the 112 level. Let's go over to the desk. We've got Adara.
Keep an eye on Uber here and Lyft as well, but UBER, this one already was trading higher after this BYD partnership for global EV transitions. However, we just got a new story coming in here and the nice little volume spike for UBER. NYC taxi regulator agreeing not to impose new rules on Uber and Lyft. So keep an eye on these rideshare stocks with this story in mind, guys.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on those. But let's be real. Keep an eye on the chip names as well. The overall market's trying to take out the top on this Fed day. 2.5% should be the next target. We know Tesla's flying. NVIDIA's running into the quarters here with a little bit of selling. It just got to the 50s on the break. So on a 114 break, looking half full. And then if it breaks that, 117 would be the next stop. If it breaks 115, let's go up here. There you go. We break 115. That 116 half, 117 feels like it's going to be the next stop into the upside. If we get there, we'll cross that bridge when we do for any potential short ideas on NVIDIA. It really just is a matter of if we're there at like 130, I feel a lot better about it. If we're there at 117 and it's like 10 o'clock or 10:20, I'm probably not as enthused about the short idea there for NVDA. So it's pressing on into the 115 level. That's where the next offer is sitting. Just got picked up there. And again, everyone's going to have your different style, right? Like for me, when we got that 112, the initial fill, it ran stops over the previous pre-market high, which was right here. If I'm taking that, I'm giving it to that. It wicked it under 11. That's a re-entry for me. If you wick a support level, I'm going to jump back in. If it looks weak, I'm scalping to there, I'm scalping to there. I'm looking for the breakout entry there. So everyone's just got to be able to do you. Unfortunately, Intel's going to be the loss. So NVIDIA good, Pin's good, but Intel, we took the hit on. And shout out to, I think it was Rivian Millionaire, might have said they were going to give it more room. I thought we'd get Intel 31, pressing a little bit higher as the market was going upside. So it actually turns out to still be a good short. But I'm out of it, and I'm going to do it. You got to trade the way that works for you. I think ultimately that's what it has to be around here. But just to go back over to Microsoft, I know I said I was waiting for a dip buy on Softy. Not much of a dip. It got down into 412. I was thinking like somewhere in like underneath 410, down into these pre-market lows. But the market's just too darn strong at this moment. So dragging Microsoft back into the upside, just have to be a little patient here. There's lots of things worth trading. Dell's moving. SMCI is going to be strong. Tesla on a day like today, it's not flying under the radar, but 5% and lagging a host of other names is Tesla. All I'm going to point out is I'm not shorting it up here, but if you're looking at a resistance level for Tesla, 235. The last 2 days, double top on Tesla. I think this could be a big one. If it can't push through here, maybe a bit of a pullback. And the logical spot for me, if something is dipping, right back, previous resistance at 231. So we dip off 235. I think Tesla 231, which happens to be lining up with VWAP, is going to look like a decent go zone. There's nothing wrong with joining a trend as well. Like Tesla's already, it's gone. You can't get 226 again. You might get 230 again, but you're not going to be able to buy those levels. We don't have time machines, but you can try to buy the dip on a trend to the upside, and that sets up here for Tesla 231. But I'm not shorting that top.
Let's see about taking a profit here. I mean, we're $3 in the money now on NVIDIA, so you gotta try to take it. Shout out to all the dads out there. We get a new little tea. Why I'm here, baby. Every single time I say I'm putting more shares on, it's for them. It's to try to make money, right? It's to try to go. So right there, yeah, good idea. And again, don't put on money if you're losing. Don't put on more shares if you're making losing trades, right? We talked about this. We're lucky enough to have 3 red days this month. And really feeling it and having one of our better months. So we're obviously going to be sitting here and doing this as we're really seeing things pretty clearly right now. So thank you, Zion, and thank you, everybody, for, again, the kind words in the chat, man. I mean, that means everything to us. As you guys can clearly see, like we keep saying on there, you can ask us any questions about anything, any stocks we're trading, any stocks you want us to look at, whatever. Let's get going on that. So you guys make sure you do that. All right, Tesla 224, that's obviously not happening. Amazon, we already have it. I come back to see this Starbucks trade, and I'm like, huh? So it did drop back in. So we are still looking at that low. I did not put a bid there. I went to go grab this tea. I'm going to put the bid now in and around there. And if it breaks that 78, what is that level there? 78.40s, I guess. Then we'll get out. So we'll put a stop order in there to break 78.40 to get out of that trade. So right now it's a loser for sure. We took out 1/3 there for 20 cents. Remember, we went 79 to 99 right there, and we were feeling that trade. But now it's definitely come back in a little bit. So we'll try that reload. But you know what's not coming back in at all? It's the biggest one round. It's Amazon today, up 2%. And again, obviously there's bigger stocks, but this name trying to get back up to the top. Let me see what Google's doing down there. Oh man, that would have been another one. I hope you guys had that. There's numbers right now, Adara.
Just getting in here, pending home sales month over month and year over year for month over month coming in here at 4.8%. So this is going to be well above the estimate of 1.5% and above the previous print of negative 2.1% from what I'm seeing here. Then pending home sales index here coming 74.3, which is above the previous print of 70.8. So the main number here, pending home sales month over month, 4.8% here, again above the consensus here of 1.3%, forecast of 0.8%. SPY continuing on its upward trajectory here, up more than 1%. Pretty big day. We do have some economic updates coming at 2 p.m. with the FOMC rate decision from the July meeting coming at 2. Then at 2:30, we'll get the Q&A from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Earnings, of course, continue to be on watch. We'll get another Mag 7 name coming after the close today with Meta, but some other names to keep an eye on here. Of course, AMD is up here on earnings. They did beat here for earnings per share and their sales, and they also recorded up 115% year-over-year increase here in their data center segment revenue. This is actually the highest print they've ever had for the quarter. So AMD and some strong revenue and an overall beat here. We also have Pinterest. This one down about 11.6%, trying to bounce, but failing as of right now. They did beat for earnings per share and for sales, but their Q3 revenue estimate came in well below estimate. So keep an eye here on PINS, guys.
Yeah, Pinterest is
What a day.
Yuck.
What a day.
It is absolutely flushing. Double digits to the downside. It can't even sniff VWAP. Looks like we're not going to get a chance at 34. Aftermarket, it bounced into 32.50, so maybe a bounce off 32.50, and then we'll get 33.50 back in. As you're still going upside on NVIDIA, I'd worry a little bit about AMD here. AMD is at VWAP while NVIDIA's taken out highs. NVIDIA's now 11% to AMD's 9.4 or 9.5%. If AMD loses VWAP, yeah, this could be an interesting one to the downside, but I'm not taking any shorts on that one just yet. We're still looking for the 115 breakout. It already went 114 to 115 once, and now if it breaks out 115, looking for that 117 resistance spot on NVIDIA. Doesn't matter the size on the offer. It happens to be 600,000, but it's done 100 million plus on NVIDIA. It's going to chew through any size. If it's not like 5 million on the offer, then who cares?
Look, I know we're gone next week, but make sure you join us. Neil and Obi will have these bangers as well next week. We're $4 now in the money on NVIDIA. But none of them will have the sticky note. Make sure you go check out the sticky note ASAP to go grab some of these plays. We all have our social medias. Go check them out. Amazon right now, 184.50, right? I'm going to hold this. We only have a 20% left. I do see it keep on ticking out here at 186. So I am, getting pretty... about that, thinking about that one. While we were gone there, we put it on again. I mean, we talked about what we want to do with Starbucks. So, I mean, there's just another one right there. And yeah, when you can put up and put the numbers up that you tell people, it's good. So that Starbucks reported well. They have activists in there. We'll see if it continues to work. So there's that 186. All right. Now I'm starting to feel some kind of ways about this. Even though it's only 20%, we cannot obviously go red on the stock, but we will take it out, man, if it breaks back down below this level, 184.50. So that was always going to be where my stop was. It was a little bit lower, obviously, when we take a 184.50, but we were going to use VWAP anyways. So let's try to do that again. 184.75 or so, maybe for a play there if that gets going. There goes NVIDIA. Again, the play of the day. It's going to be your P&L, easily #1 stock here, obviously, is, you know, we have it, and it's a big mover. So, and again, could have gone either way off the open, but you got to know what you're doing and play the strength, right? I mean, we were only looking long. I actually wrote on here today, no shorts. So for me, that was that. I'm just talking about the chip names. So we do not want to short this one, even if it does resist off here off of 115. And I said 115.50. I actually wrote down on here a 112 break gets us to 116. So let's see if that does happen there. All right, so Starbucks, we take some out. It falls back through now, and there's the move back. Oops. There's the move back in for Starbucks. So there it is, getting stopped out there on Starbucks. So again, we'll be down a latte or so on that one, literally. And let's just wait to see what happens. And again, it's always good when your red stock is about, I don't know, a tenth of your best winning or of your worst winning stock. So, so far so good there today. And we'll just wait to see what's happening now with NVIDIA. And it looks like, Neil, we might have just bounced again right there off 115.
115 is proving to be a wall. It felt like they got to that level, saw the order, filled it, and then just pulled back. So, well, I shouldn't say order. There's multiple orders at 115. It's not like it's one person sitting on the offer for a bunch of shares. There was a question in the chat, are we only trading puts? Well, we're not trading any options, and neither one of us is short anyways, but we're not trading options. We're here at Real Trading, trading only the equity. So if you're new to this program, we are trading live equity trading. There are futures, but we're not trading any options contracts here. So it's same principles. You want to bet the stock goes up, you put in a long position. That's why you see long and short. Speaking of potential shorts, in the afternoon, I pivoted short. Like NVIDIA, if it breaks 115, this is going to be a moot point, I think. But if we fail 115 and break down on NVIDIA, there's a bit of a flat bottom setting up here on Micron. This is the name that I shorted in the afternoon. Yesterday, it did not get to its resistance at 111, failed a lower high. But this 109 looks very, very juicy if it loses this. So I don't want to step out in front of like NVIDIA. Obviously, that's a strong one here today. It's breaking that 115, but this is more like a contingency. If we fail back under, I'm looking at Micron breaking 109 to the downside. I wanted to get ARM short. I paid for locates, the ability to short ARM, but it needed to be a lot closer to $150 than 140 where it's sitting right now. So I'm pivoting over to potentially MU if it breaks down. That's a big if.
So I'm trying to put on some more winners here. I punched longer on NVIDIA here at 115 break, but it's not really going. So I've just been taking some out. Okay, here we go. So I've just been taking some out there. I mean, we just got 14s or 15s there. It's not like a very dramatic play here on NVIDIA. But again, we're punching more shares here, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to add to our winners. We called this 116 play. Let's see if we can be right on it again. So there it is, man. Make them sing, baby. Make them sing right there. It is.
Another one.
Let's go. And by the way, we also get our Amazon trade as well up here. We're just 2 for 2 huge today, and Starbucks is sleepy. All right, there we go, man. Nice move into the 40s. Oh my, we did it again right there, breaking through and then just putting up numbers. I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to take a trade, you might as well take it with shares. And there it goes. Bye-bye, NVIDIA. We did get a little bit nervous there. So we were talking about that when it didn't break. We did get some out there when it wasn't looking like it wanted to go. But now it's trying to go. And there's our target, man. We talked about 115.50. So there it goes. We will take a piece out here in the 40s again. And just to see if we're right. There it is. There's a 43 right there again. So it is a money trade right there again right now. So infinitely crushing right now today as well. Big shout out to Obi in the back, who's also with me on this NVIDIA trade. I see Neil's joined the party, so good move here as we continue to go up to the upside. Man, so today is this day, yesterday was this day, and we're double yesterday's net. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye on Powell Industries here. This one trying to form a little bit of a breakout, getting a bit of a volume increase, currently up about 36%. They had earnings last night, beat across the board, earnings per share and sales beat. Worth noting as well for this one, they do happen to tend to time their earnings around the same time that we have FOMC meetings. So before we get Fed Chair Powell at 2:30 p.m. today in that Q&A, keep an eye on Powell Industries, POWL, guys.
Oh, wow, Neil.
I don't know about a stock that just happens to be called Powell. Trying to get a boost out of Powell talking. That just feels like all kinds of a trap to me if you're going to get bullish on it. I don't know anything about it. We do like Tesla, however, and Tesla is giving you its second dip buy of the day potentially. We like 231. We mentioned this. It also happens to be VWAP, but 231 was the lower high yesterday. When Tesla got tanked, this is where it pulled back into. This is where we're going to look to dip by. Just find a key level and try to play it off of that key level. If it's going to hold the trend to the upside, this is where I would like to see it bounce. Speaking of bounces, still haven't seen one to my liking on Pinterest as it continues to go to the downside. I'm sitting out here at 33.5, but it's not really getting into that level. So if it reclaims 33 to the downside, I'm just going to look short under 33 and give it to the local high in here, which is about 33.25. That could be the next available play here, is to just jump into Pinterest. The only downside is you can't, if it breaks 33, I can't punch short because it's short sell restricted down over 11%. I have to get picked up on the offer. But once it's under 33, we're going to try and get back into the short on pins. They reported, obviously the market didn't like it. I think they beat on a bunch of metrics, but the guidance was poor. Doesn't really matter. Stock is trending down into a strong market. That's good enough for me. Relative weakness, go short. Relative strength, generally you want to go long. Not always the case. But in this case, it is.
115.50. I mean, still going. The call of the day. Call of the day is NVIDIA, but the next call of the day would be Amazon for me. Obviously, we've only made 2 calls, really. Starbucks is probably back up now. Where's Starbucks? No, okay. Well, he did go back up. Went to 79. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that was a good call, but we don't have it. But anyways, at the end of the day, look what Amazon's doing right here. Amazon doing big things right now, breaking through 186.50. I mean, if you like that trade, we had 184.50 and we got out there at 186. So, yeah, man, really great day happening all aboard here. So now on this, we do still have 20% of our reloaded price here. We just got another piece out at 25s there for NVIDIA as it drops back in. My out right now is 114.75. Just playing it station to station again. If we break back down and we can lose a quarter on that, we'll do that. But we just got another piece out, so we're pretty... It's not that we're super light on it, but we don't have that maximum position, obviously, as we've been getting that out. So here comes NVIDIA. Even if it dips, whatever, we'll get punched out here. And again, it's on 20% or so of, maybe even less than that, of our last little piece right there. So we almost got to that 116. We got to our 115.50 target right there, and that's why we took it. So there it is. There's the breakdown right now. We're not playing around with NVIDIA. There's our target. It was met, and it's a big damn stock for me today and for the floor, right? We talked about that. So hopefully, you guys are watching and taking note and putting some money there in your pocket on NVIDIA today. What a great day it's been for trading. What a great month it's been for many. So not for many, but for many of these names as we go. Disney, $94 now, trying to go back up to the upside. We looked at Boeing earlier again as well. We looked at that 193 area. Looks like that came and went in the pre-market. Tried to get to 92 right now, but not there. All right, I'm going to go look at some more trades, maybe ARM or something like that as we go. But for right now, NVIDIA does drop down in, looking for a buy zone. I haven't even looked at AMD yet.
AMD's... I had AMD up on a level 2 that I moved over, and it's underneath VWAP. And we were pointing this out that AMD, when NVIDIA was testing 115, AMD was that's the top. AMD was testing VWAP, which was potentially support. It ends up giving it up, and suddenly you have a lot of weakness relatively in advanced micro devices. So I think you'd be a little bit cautious with this. It's not participating in the same way as NVIDIA is, which... NVIDIA holding on to the original, if you look at the breakout off the open, pre-market was already 112 gone. So at the open, the top break was 114. If you can't hold on to 114, I'm out and waiting for VWAP. I did just get into Pinterest. We said if it broke 33, we'd get in. I was able to actually get 99s. That actually didn't occur punching it. It went down to 94 and came back up and picked up some 99s. And we're going to get low of the day here at about 75. And then work to the downside. We're giving it to the local high, which is about 33.15. So be very careful with AMD. That's looking weak. Suddenly even, into this market, which is right now still pressing highs. I said I wasn't looking for this to be short while I was above VWAP, but if we come back in here and can't get above 150, I think some people are caught off guard in the other direction on AMD. So everyone's looking like great longs here on NVIDIA, and AMD is suffering. Tesla did not get to VWAP at 231. Sometimes it gets to the level you want, other times it doesn't. I'm still going to be patient with it, looking for a VWAP bounce. Just hold the trend, Tesla. That's all we're looking to see happen. If it can do that, when Tesla trends, if it's going to be an upward trend into the Fed, we should be able to find some places to get into it. And Microsoft, I'm not going to say it's a nothing burger. No breakout of that top, still 420 can't be, there's no buyers above the 420 level. It's about to break VWAP, so we're just going to have to wait for a better dip buy. I don't like this one at VWAP as much as something like a Tesla. It just down 1.5%. They still didn't love the earnings right away. So I'd be a little bit cautious with Microsoft. Tesla, different story. That's been a rocket ship. Certainly a stronger name. If I can see it bounce off 221, that's what we're going to look. Odyssey Fights says, yes, you are trapped in AMD. Good news about any position. If you have an out, you can always just take your out. But if I get short here, my out would be 150, like 75. But I don't think we're going to get 150 imminently. So only new position, Pinterest. If we lose 114 on NVIDIA, I'm getting out of that one.
All right, the arm whisperers here. Everybody be quiet. We're not talking about this one. It's 70 cents now in the money right there. Wow. I mean, this has just been, there goes ARM. ARM is now $1 right there. Let's go, man. I just said we're going to look into ARM, and we bought it, and there it goes. ARM straight up to the upside right there. Boom goes the dynamite right there. 3 positions today, $3. Each one more than $1, obviously, in the money. But we'll see if ARM can keep going, man. I mean, I don't know. If the market wants to go, then yeah, we can have a monster here on ARM. VWAP 141.50. Let's put an order there because we know what the spread and what can happen again here right now. So. All right, there it is. Let's see if we can get that now. NVIDIA does make a dip buy opportunity there, but doesn't get as low as 114 where the 50 period is, which I really would have liked, like I said. But, I mean, NVIDIA is almost like basically for the show here, it's about 7x the next winner P&L-wise. So, I mean, it's been a big, big win right here today. So I'm just going to keep on that train and, keep looking for the names, that we've been doing really, really well on. And, of course, that is NVIDIA. And I looked yesterday. I said the TQs was number one for me. And then following that was NVIDIA. And then we noticed that Amazon was one of the worst. We don't make back what we were down on Amazon there today. But Amazon was a great trade today early. So we'll keep looking at that. And then obviously we got rid of Starbucks. Starbucks isn't doing that much. I mean, we were in, then we were out. So no damage, nothing done whatsoever here on Starbucks. But it still wants to hold this 78.30. So potentially in interest of that, we could watch out for it. So my only position right now is ARM. We did get out of that NVIDIA. We'll wait for more of a dip buy opportunity here. Obviously, if NVIDIA keeps coming to the downside, then I would expect ARM to also do that. So I'm going to get out of ARM if it breaks 139. I mean, we'll celebrate it. We're only out of a third. And we just, you know what? I mean, just the fact that I feel like we are very, very sort of held hostage here by NVIDIA. I'm already going to go long on NVIDIA anyways, if we can get in a little bit. So let me put another offer here on ARM. If we're lucky enough to get that 50 period instead of VWAP, then we'll just do that. And again, just go back and forth on those trade ideas. So yeah, we'll wait. I do see what you're saying there, Rivian Millionaire, or whoever's saying that there in the chat, that NVIDIA could fade off the rest of the day, or potentially. I mean, that's possible. We do have Fed today. So that's another thing that's sort of weighing on everybody's mind. So we'll have to wait to see what happens there. I think Fed is a pump the market type of deal here today. Oh man, I'm canceling my bid on Amazon. It was down there a lot lower than that. Bitcoin hovering around. Intel could be my next victim. We'll wait.
So there might be a breakout setting up in Meta here. Meta, different name. It hasn't reported yet. 474 on Meta.
What else?
It's the current high of the day. It's a couple of days ago. We had a little bit of a top here. So double top break on Meta. You've seen some breaks look absolutely fantastic here today. So Meta, they haven't reported, but 2% stronger than the market. All that good stuff. Sorry, stronger than the ES, but the NASDAQ is like 2.7%. But it's at those highs. So we're going to add this one to the list here. It's only 10:20. There's plenty of time for this to rally. I wouldn't take a breakout at 1:30.
10:20.
I wouldn't take a breakout at like really close to the Fed, but it's higher lows into a flat top. I'm going to take a shot here at Meta into this strong market upside. I was able to get one bid on Pinterest. I always talk about what's going to be the next. If NVIDIA is not going to give us the dip that we want, I was scanning some of the stocks that are in play that were on my list, and Tesla didn't give us the dip we want either. Meta 474 about to happen any second now. I think it's about to make this breakout over here on Meta. Just getting my stop order in. Looks like it just went. We're going to give it back into the half on META. So Meta breaking out. I haven't looked at Alphabet today. We're looking at Microsoft. That didn't look like much of a, I mean, it might be a trade. It just didn't look like a trade that I wanted. I guess that's the best way to put it. Microsoft may be the one that reported, but it looks like Meta is going to be a little bit stronger in here. Oddly enough, it's interesting. Meta to the upside, Pinterest to the downside. One of those is doing it right in advertising, and the other one under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, and we're doing it right trading-wise again here, Neil. We talk about it. It's now almost $2 in the money now, is ARM. So, I mean, there it goes, man. Another trade given to you. Neil's giving some ideas here. I'm trying to do that as well, trying to match him. We'll see what happens, man. It's all about idea generation, right? It's NVIDIA. We talked about that. Infinitely your best stock. ARM, huge move to the upside right now. Trying to go, man. We're almost at $2 in. We took a piece out there at 20s or at 16s, whatever it is there. And now we start to go. I guess we should have waited for VWAP, but we were a little, not nervous, but we were watching out for NVIDIA as that seems to not want to pull back too much at all. Yeah, we got to wait for it. All right, AMD was another name there.
It's up back at 15.
By the way, we are now officially right now going to do this, man. We are, you know, I don't know why she keeps phoning. I've already told her that I've signed a contract here. I got to stay here. It's going to take 20K, the futures. I don't know about that. We'll see if it can get there for the NASDAQ. That's a big day for sure. I sure hope so.
Today?
We did hit NVIDIA yesterday at 104, 105 long. Whatever, I talked to him last night. All right, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening here. Here goes NVIDIA to the upside there, man. And again, like I said, monster trade. And yeah, happy to talk about it. But there goes AMD right now, 148. That looks like a decent little bottom. I'd like to see us take VWAP before we get excited. That would be 150 and change. So that would be a trade that I'm looking at right now. If anything, I may even fade this because it's underneath. But I don't want to go short on names that are ripping all day here today. So I feel like this brings me up to, you know, what we should all be probably doing. And where's my little graphic? Here it is right now. Yo, no, that's not the graphic, but everyone should go over to stonks.com right now. I'm going to find that QR code. The link is in description for you right here. Here it is right here. Go over, grab this for you right now. Go make a bet on stonks.com. Where will Meta finish at the end of the day? And I just want everyone, click that QR code. It's completely free. And guess what, man? Our guy Ty, right there behind us, won yesterday, $250. So that's why he hopped on, called up stonks.com, and was like, yo, can we get that going? Yeah, we've mentioned that, Fabes, my guy. Link in description. Go there, find it out. But make sure you do hit this QR code, right? Give us the credit there for showing this to you. Hit that QR code. Go ahead, sign up. Predict where Meta closes at 4:30 today. So it's a play for earnings. So we'll be doing that until earnings are over. They'll have a stock a day. Today's stock of the day is Meta. And I've already put in my call, man. I've already put in I put in 499. So with the fact that Meta's at 472, wish I could go in there and change that. But you can go in right now, find it out, make the prediction. The prize pool is $1,000, gets divided up. Go in there, make a call, get it at stonks.com, and make sure you do click that QR code right there, man. And we are really on one today, man. It's been a big day. Like I said, yesterday was a big day, and today's even bigger than that. We'll see if we can rinse and repeat this on Thursday. But for now, it's a Dara over at Z-Board.
All caps today.
IWM trying to make some higher highs and higher lows here, about flat on the day for the Russell 2000. So this could be one to watch out as we get the interest rate decision at 2:30. We have seen this move the market right now, though, just a slow uptrend, trying to make some recovery here for the IWM. A lot of these names not going to have stories, but decent floats or a lot of social media attention across the board. NUZE is the first one up here, up about 75% right now. Not as the highest it's been all day, but trying to grind a little bit higher. We have a float of about 1.18 million shares for Newsy. We also have NCNC here. This one up more than 100%. Noco. Not seeing any news on this one. Decent social media attention, $20 million market cap. That one is a penny stock as well. And last but not least, ZVRA. This one starting to get a bit of stronger volume here, a little bit less volume than the other two stocks here. This one's going to be Zevra. They're up about 20%. We do have a short float here of about 7.6%. So keep an eye here on ZVRA alongside all these other small cap cappers, guys.
So didn't want to interrupt while it was happening, but Meta broke that 474, and I want to mention that trade. But my prediction actually on stonks.com is not going to be $500. It's going to be $485.66. And not only am I going to tell you why I like that price, because I like you. If you like technicals as a trader, I'm just going to hit submit so you can see it. Why not have like a random reason? The big, massive trend line that this stock had to the upside is going to intersect. It was broken, obviously, but it's going to intersect at pretty much exactly that number, or at least close enough to it. So that's what I like today. It's not the 50-period moving average, but it is going to be the previous uptrend that this stock held since like 2023. I think if it gets there, that's a good enough go spot. But Meta, it did make that 474 break. It pressed in, got to 75. Couldn't seem to break any higher. Like the breakout in NVIDIA, kind of treated it the same way. Couldn't break the dollar. We're going to jump out of it for the breakout trade. And now you've got this nice channel starting to form. So if it's going into a dip buy, I like it after it broke VWAP. Can it hold on to these lows that it's put in? So this is it at VWAP, and this is the channel that it's currently trading. So after it reversed, that's that massive candle in here. Look at where it found that support. If we can hold on to that, great. If we can't, we'll see. AMD, I was asked in the chat if I got AMD short at 150. I didn't get the fills into VWAP. I thought we'd get a little more strength into it, and it just died underneath the 150 level. So AMD still looking incredibly weak here and making a bit of a flat bottom break. NVIDIA could come out if it loses the 114 as well.
All right, let's go, man. We're, fortune favors the bold, and that's exactly what we are. And there it goes right now. It's a nice little tank down there for AMD. We punched the short through 148. It does go down 40 cents. We did not take that. We are there now to take a little bit of this trade off if it can go. It's a nice little flush down there. Yeah, unfortunately, NVIDIA loses that as well. So there we go to the downside, and oh my. We're back, baby. There's another short for us on AMD, man. Oh, wow. When things are working out, man, they are working out, boy. There it goes to the downside again right here, right now. So hopefully a couple big trades upon us. We'll see if we do get back up there to 150. I think it's worth holding on to this right now just to see. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be more love coming through for NVIDIA. We just saw that happen right there where Neil was long in front of 114. It went. Obviously, he got out. So we'll slap that on that trade. We need to fail for NVIDIA right now to the downside. Hopefully, AMD. Hopefully, AMD can go. I was liking that 114 hold. I thought we could try to. That's where the 50 period is. We always talk about on earnings days, and I know it's not NVIDIA's earnings, but it's AMD. I like pullbacks into VWAP if we're looking for some kind of support. But for right now, it looks like AMD wants to sort of bounce off of that low take there. So we will get out. And we don't have a lot of shares because, like Neil mentioned there, breaks at 1025, not something the same, like just for, and I'm probably the only one that talks about share size and how much we put on, or even if we're up or down on the day. But if you look over here, this was a break, little late into a strong name. The reason why I took it, and let's talk about this because everyone's like, why am I taking this trade? Why am I not taking this trade? So on and so forth. So the main reason why is you're under the 200, under VWAP, under the 50, and it's not working the way I thought it would today. So it's going oppo, right? So it's going opposite of where this market I thought it would go. So let's play that way, right? I mean, if it broke there, this is a pre-market. I mean, it's basically 930, but once the market opened up, this is a level that I thought we could look at, right? I mean, right into here, we broke below 149. I guess technically this pre-market break of 150, 149 would have been where we needed to stand in case there was an issue, but we stood right here where we are. Now I'm going to try to reload this at 150. Hopefully that will come in for us, but that's not guaranteed. It's not like death and taxes around here. So we'll wait to see if that can come up. But for right now, a pullback like into the 200 is something worth taking, but I don't really want to give this too much more, man. Like a break of 150 on AMD, probably worth getting out of this trade. So we won't average this back in until we get up there. So let's just see. The day is not that early anymore. It's 10:30, so we are getting a little on right now. You know what? Let me put back on the piece that we got out. So let me put back on 20% here for AMD at 75s. Well, just missed us. Sorry, no, we weren't at 75s. We were at 85s, 148.85 right there. But hopefully it comes back in just a little bit, and here it comes. So screaming back down. I do have a bid at 147.60 where the bottom was. So hopefully that will come through again, and then we'll just see from there. So there it is. All right, bang. We just missed that reload. We talked to you about it. We were going to put on that extra little piece there, but we missed it. So yeah, all good right now for now. Amazon, wow, and wow. Sometimes we should be holding stocks. Let me double check what that Google call was that we made earlier and where that one is. So that's something similar. So we did not buy this dip early, which would have been good. That would have been about a 95 cents or so. And right now, this is why it's coming up on my scanner. It's trying to break back down below the 50 period MA. So there goes NVIDIA. Just broke 114 again to the downside. So yeah, man, the NASDAQ's almost up 3%. What a day this has been.
And ES 1/2.
The EF is up 1.5. Yeah, so there it goes, man. Probably some of the bank names. But again, remember Apple, NVIDIA, like some of these names are well taken.
Yeah, like we haven't even
as well.
We haven't even looked at like Broadcom, which is the big one. Like you start talking about some of these bigger names, like Broadcom is up 8.5%, and we haven't even talked about it.
Boy.
Let's be real for a second. But we're back into pins just quickly here. I know we're about to go to Adara, and I want to mention what happened to Tesla. I did not get into position on Tesla. Pinterest wicked out, consolidated right back in. I'm back in the consolidation at 33. If it's going to break this channel down, I want to be in it. But Tesla, my goodness, Tesla. Yeah, was there a bid at VWAP? There was not one. It broke right through, couldn't hang on to that 231. So if you're not seeing any buyers step up there, then I don't want to be the one. Now the buyers are starting to come into Tesla. It's trying to reclaim VWAP as we speak. Once it starts bidding above this 231, I'm going to look for the long above VWAP. But it's a bit of a downtrend locally since that high. It might be forming the uptrend here. So that's there to there, something along those lines, right? Like it's not an exact science, but if it holds on to 230, that could provide like a lunchtime or a midday support level, if not VWAP, which we're about to see right now. So the only reload was getting into Pinterest. We got wicked out of NVIDIA, but NVIDIA's right back at the 114 level, just looking for Tesla to hold on to 231. I haven't made a trade on it just yet. Either we get it holding VWAP in the next couple of candles here, or we get a dip back into this trend line and can go long off the 230 level. So I just want to make sure like that is the plan of action here on Tesla. So, making a decision about NVIDIA because NVIDIA is not going to get to VWAP, it seems. We might not get that reload at all. Yeah, VWAP might not be a thing on NVIDIA. Let me just quickly say, when we stopped out, I was thinking join the trend back in at VWAP where it held before. We might not get that chance. We might have to just try back at the 114. That was a key price level. We added there before. I don't know why I didn't like adding there. I know, because of VWAP. That's why I didn't add.
Yeah, and again, just for terminology purposes, wicked out, stopped out, it's all the same thing. We just try to avoid those wicks. Like, that's the problem. We never know when there's going to be. And that's the thing, right? When you get your levels like that and you get stopped out, like here at 150, right? Let's just say it goes to 150.10. And that's a top wick, but I get stopped out. That's my level. My level's 150, right? So you got to put those levels back on your board. So watch out here. Here goes AMD. And just quickly before we go over to crypto, we got a short there, and then we took some more out. So we got that reload that we talked about at 90s or whatever that was, and then that bid right there is 35s. So we're up on AMD, but holding a position. So we need this to work out for us. We're short right now at 148.21, and yeah, man, Yeah, a little bit of bad luck there for sure for Neil there at 114. That was a level that I was looking at, and then once it went through, I talked about it right here when you were gone. I was like, hopefully we get to that 113 because I really like that VWAP trade. But once again, here comes AMD, now profitable. I'm bidding 07s, and there it is right there. Let's go for a little bit of a bang, and now let's see if we can hold it. There goes AMD again, my friend Neil Roberts, and there it goes. Let's put some money in the bank as if we're WWE superstar CM Punk. All right, let's go over to Miss Winnipeg. It's Adara.
Just before we get to crypto, worth noting we did get the crude oil inventories coming in. So we had the falling here by negative 3.436 million, so lower than the forecast here of 1.1 million. Just a quick update for oil. In terms of crypto, though, kind of an interesting shift in the trend for these Ethereum and BTC ETFs. We had Ethereum ETFs recording inflows for their second day ever in their existence, 33 million in inflows for Tuesday. Meanwhile, Bitcoin breaking an inflow streak to actually record 18 million in outflows for these BTC ETFs. So Ethereum recording inflows and BTC recording outflows, bit of a change of the trend as of yesterday. Bitcoin itself here on the daily chart, trying to make a slightly higher low here, but more or less within this range of about 65,000 to 68,000. So still seeing some range-bound trading for Bitcoin that we did, of course, try to wick into that 70,000 area as of Monday. Bitcoin basically flat on the day. Ethereum down about 0.3% in the day, so pretty flat as well. Though we do have some excitement in some of these other names. BNB here up almost 2%. Ripple up about 6%. We've got Tron down about 2.5%, but generally a little bit more subdued trading here with regards to the percentages in a lot of these crypto-related names, guys.
I'm wondering why I wasn't hearing it there. I'm not plugged in.
All right, there it is, man. It's another dollar winner for us here so far today. I mean, the damage that's been put on today has been pretty epic here as far as, you know, P&L, like I mentioned to you before. We got out of that ARM. That might have been silly, man. Again, let's go. ARM, top P&L name today. ARM, Amazon, AMD putting up numbers by far, as Neil and I have talked about this. NVIDIA is the big dog, but it probably should be Amazon. Amazon, I'm not embarrassed by this trade. I mean, this is your P&L number 2 for the day here at Trader TV Live, and it's a great one, but man, oh man, this should be $3 in the money off of our posted sticky note level. And so far here today, I've just been putting up online all these wins that we've had. I mean, there's Amazon, AMD, NVIDIA. We do not have Tesla, but that's it. So right now, the fact that yesterday was a good day, and now we're up double our P&L from yesterday. You know, we'll probably now, and you probably won't like this, but sit on our hand. Well, whatever. I only have 25 more minutes with you guys, and then we go for our walks and we do all that kind of stuff. Call the wife, make sure the kids are doing well. My wife and my son are at the Banksy exhibit today. So they got VIP passes. They're going to the Banksy exhibit today in Toronto. So look, that's so important, right? Your kids got to have some kind of culture, athletics, family life. I mean, I've shared with you guys many, many moments, not only here on trading, but with my family, right? And that's, taking your kids to movies, taking them to sporting events, being their coach, doing all this kind of stuff, right? I mean, I think that's very important. And then, going to these art exhibits. I'm kind of jealous that we're not there. But it'd be fun for them, and I can't wait to see the pictures. So Banksy is pretty dope. You're right. So that's why we're sitting here. We're really happy to put up these numbers. My gorgeous wife got her hair did yesterday, and it looks absolutely fantastic as we get ready to rock and roll for London next week. So it sucks. I said this before, man. At the beginning of July, I was like, I don't want to take time off, but you know what? We took time off. We came back, and right now, having our best month of the year, and it's not stopping. This is the last day of the month, and we're having one of our better days. So, I mean, giddy up, man. Giddy up. As we go. So yeah, man, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Grab that 83% off right now. Click that QR code if you're talking about VPNs and whatnot. But man, oh man, that NVIDIA, we had that name and it is still ripping. Thank you so much for all the love and support on the NVIDIA call, man. And it's really paying the bills for your boy today.
Yeah, NVIDIA is still looking like the strongest name out there. It continues to go. We'll have to try to find a way to get back into it. If it trends all day, we'll find a way. try to give you a little bit of a rhyme action there. Darwin saying Banksy is anonymous in this chat. You never really know where Banksy is going to be. That's the reality. But if he's anonymous in the chat, then shout out to him. My brother is a huge Banksy. I know he'd be.
He didn't go to the exhibit?
Well, so look, my brother has been in town. He was only my nephew, his older son, was here for like 3 or 4 weeks and staying with us. But then he came with his younger son and was only here a week. So between seeing family and stuff, it was all family obligations. I know he didn't get a chance to go and see it, but I know he would. But like family comes first. My brother lives a 2-hour flight away on the east coast of Canada. But we did get Tesla in here, so it's a different trade from, I suppose, what might have been the plan early. Like, if you like to break out early, great. If you liked an early dip into VWAP, great. I just simply waited for it to make a higher low. It did this wick, and then a green candle after that. So bounce here, bounce here. Now longs off this trend line is going to be the name of the game. I'm going to respect this, what do we call it? Lower high is what I'm going to call it, 232.5. So we get into that. We're scalping out and looking for a VWAP entry here. Got to remember, and the reason why, Tesla is still at this monster resistance spot. So I think scalping it into this makes a lot of sense. If it breaks out at 236, great. That stock can absolutely fly. But looking at what happened the last couple of days here on Tesla, if it respects that lower high, it's a couple of bucks away from, well, it's $1 away from it now, but a couple of bucks away from our zone. No worries about that. Because you have a Fed day, I'm not expecting a lot of highs will be broken in the lunch hour. So if we get there and reject the lower high, we're going to take out this Tesla. Let's go over to Adara. Money talks. Or no, Sector Watch. Sector Watch.
This part of the show brought to you by Stonks.com. Want a chance to win $1,000 every day? Stonks.com is giving out $1,000 daily, and entering is super easy. Predict the stock price and earnings report. Today, we're looking at Meta. All it takes is 30 seconds to join. Just go to Stocks.com, sign up, and hit the Make Prediction button and potentially win $1,000. It's that simple. Each day, you get 1 free ticket to predict. Want more chances? Share your referral link and get 5 extra tickets for each sign-up. Go to Stocks.com, don't miss out, and good luck. In terms of the sectors here, we do have a lot of strength, of course, across the board in this market. We have to talk about electronic technology, NVIDIA leading this group to the upside. In addition to the sympathy with those AMD earnings, we did actually get Morgan Stanley adding NVIDIA to its top picks list. So NVIDIA getting its own catalyst, giving this one a nice look here. But we're pretty much great across the board in this sector. Boeing here also to the upside after their earnings this morning, where they announced new CEO Kelly Ortberg. Technology services, you can really see how Microsoft is the weak name here in this sector. Green across the board, except for Microsoft with those disappointing cloud earnings. So the rest of their earnings pretty strong here across the board. Producer manufacturing green, consumer services green, energy minerals, process industries, communications, consumer durables, Tesla leading this group to the upside, but other than that, pretty flat. In terms of mixed to more negative sectors, health technology a bit more subdued, finance a bit more subdued, consumer non-durables being brought down a little bit here by some earnings from Altria. And health services red almost across the board here. Humana reporting and giving some pretty disappointing EPS guidance here. So health services on watch to the downside, guys.
Appreciate you, Professor, right there, as cash rules everything around me. But it doesn't really. We just like Wu-Tang right there. So, oh yeah, by the way, you know what? These came in, man. These are pretty comfortable. Shout out to our guy right there. These are the Air Maxes right now, and they're Max 90s, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're really super comfortable. These are my London walking shoes right now. And honestly, man, since we've been wearing this, I'm not taking off the watch. I'm not taking off these. No, I'm serious. People have, and I just put in there, like, we're blasting right now. Our net is blasting. You know, we're not taking this stuff off. So right there, you know, we got the watch, we got the family-made bracelets, and we've got the good kicks, right? Look good, feel good, trade good. And that's kind of what we're talking about. We talked about that all the time.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, man, yeah, we're making some snipes too. And by the way, look at this AMD play there to the downside. Shout out to my guy who's going to be with me on Friday, Raider Trader. He brought that up. He was like, oh man, you got some pretty nice shoes going on there. So thank you too much to Raider Trader. But we got, I mean, forget about the shoes, man. We'll buy a couple of these pairs today after this kind of a day. Look what AMD is doing right now to the downside. So we shorted that 148 break, averaged it into 149. Down goes AMD. Another, this for you, Ozan, man. Blow that cow, baby. Another $1.50 in the money there for AMD. The fun don't stop because it's about to continue on the midday show when Live in the Meow with Sharif. He has a cup that says "Live in the Meow." So oh, funny, I show Sharif on the thing there. Yesterday, me and this guy were in the kitchen. He was stressing, boy. He was looking for that cup. He couldn't find it. No, but it goes back.
He does it every day.
It goes back to superstitions, right? And it's like when you're on this heater, part of it is staying there. And it's like I've told you guys over and over again. I feel pretty good about the way we're trading. And I want to thank everybody for this because there's often I battle with the fact that I'm saying like, these are these winners. And when the winners are hard to come by, you guys can clearly see that. And then people are like, oh, this guy always wins. But I'm just trying to show you and tell you what's actually happening. So I don't want it to sound like bragging or anything like that. This is what the show's created for. It's created to show you day trading. It's created to show you winners. All right, that's why I'm always pumping here. Ask us if we're green. Ask us if we're red. Ask us about stocks that we've been in. That's the point of the show. Okay? So, I mean, we're here for real trading. We're here to sort of pump up that because I've been here. I hired Neil here. We've been here for a while. And we love the software. We love the platform. This show was created because I simply couldn't fly around the world when COVID was here. So the bosses were like, hey, my guy, you got to keep spreading that good word of trading. So I was doing little screens, little webcams with offices in Africa, offices all throughout Canada, throughout Europe, Asia, all this. But I could talk to one office at a time, and they were brand new traders. So a lot of them, some of the stuff I'm talking about, either too high level or not high enough or whatever, different per office. So then it was like, all right, let's get another idea going. And that's when I was in Paris, I get a phone call, hey, not only are you going to do the show, but let's put your friend Neil on with you. So that's what we did. That's what's happening.
They weren't going to tell you. I was like, you should probably tell them because we're going on a Monday morning.
Yeah, it'd be all right. I mean, you know what? I do the show by myself.
It happened on Friday.
It happened on a Friday, and that was really great. And then boom goes the dynamite. We're here right now. We're still, head trader at Real Trading. And, we're here to promote that, but we're also here to show you what's good. And I mean, right there, I am now almost out. I only have 20% left of this trade. And today, we'll go banger here with AMD. Amazon's $5, $4 in the money, but we got out. ARM, there we go again. That went $250. NVIDIA, all right? And then Starbucks. So right now today, Neil, we'll go 4 for 4 with paying fees in Starbucks. So 4 for 5. I'm not even going to really count that, but there it is right there. It's a monster day, and I'm just glad that everybody's joining us and having a good time. And I hope you like that little story time right there because it's the truth, right? And that's why I keep talking about how important it is to explain to you guys what trading's really like on a prop floor. And that's why I keep telling you, man, there's like two or three positive accounts behind us this month, but that's still not that bad. If you get 2 or 3 positive accounts when you have 15 traders, better than the odds that I normally give you. So, hey, man, let's hope for an even better month, Neil, in August. And then forward from there, man. I don't plan on going, next month, Ramin?
Tomorrow.
But there we go, man.
It's still July.
It's still July. Yeah. We did that when April, May.
No, Ramin.
As we go. Yeah, I know, whatever. But anyways, there it goes, man. We're still here. Our net is at the highest damn spot it's been at all day right now because guess what's happening, Neil? It is now a $2 winner for AMD on, again, a pretty simple trade. So, yeah, putting up the numbers and just sort of, extending the gap, baby.
Yeah, and just a couple. There was a bunch of questions in there. Powell, we went 4 for 5 yesterday in the morning, 4 for 5 again today. It's just a matter of like trading your own style. But I wanted to get to, where was it? I'll get there in a quick little second. Like we talk about like the ideas, and I forgot who it exactly was. And one of the reasons we mentioned, like, what's the reason for getting in the trade? The opposite of what I like in Tesla, and I forgot who was mentioning the Tesla trade, is what I'm seeing over here in ARM. So ARM has a very similar higher low that it's putting in on a trend, but I actually like this for a trend breakdown on ARM because of what I see on the 15-minute chart. Like I see this as a false breakout above 143-ish, sort of rejecting that. So if it rejects that, makes a lower high, and breaks the trend down, I kind of like that to the short side. So similar idea for support and resistance, but in one case, in Tesla's case, I still like it long because Tesla's on that like higher low from yesterday, consolidation, breakout, where it's trending up, trending up, trending up, trending up. And I see a little bit of a difference here with ARM. And again, probably some of this has to do with, ARM got to some ridiculous levels that Tesla didn't on the high, but ARM is putting in lower highs on that higher time frame. So I'm looking for a trend down break on ARM. We had to pay for locates here, but they were basically free. If we lose this trend line, looking for the short out underneath it. Just hasn't happened yet. So it's just a matter of it breaking down. If it does, we'll look for the short there. NVIDIA, as we keep saying, we want to get back into NVIDIA. Now it's starting to barcode around 115. So the early dip buy and then the breakout trade, they've come and gone. You got to worry about what is going to be next here on NVIDIA. And maybe it's going to be that 115. I can't predict the future, but if it bounces off 15, or 14, I should say. If it bounces off 14 or bounces off 13, I do want to take a shot at it. So Tesla is the only thing we're in off this trend. It's still trying to hold out. It breaks out the top. I'm looking 232 and a half is going to be the out there on Tesla. So if we get the break on ARM, we're going to look for that short. It hasn't happened yet, but it's just about what's going to be that next opportunity for you. And I don't think that on a Fed day, you just want to sit on your hands because the market slows down. There's potentially some scalp trades. If a stock just stays inside of a range and you can go like scalp hunting, that's a bad terminology. And then you can go looking for like inside, maybe like smaller wins. Something like, I'm just putting up Palantir because it happens to be setting up. Palantir has like a neat little 15, 20 cent range in here where 27 happens to be the bottom. That could be a nice trade. If it bounces off 27 a few times, maybe you can just go sideways and catch some of that there on Palantir. Let's go over to the desk. We've got Money Talks. This time we get it right.
There's one event when it comes to the economic calendar that we're going to be talking about today and looking at, and that is going to be the FOMC meeting and rate decision coming through at 2 p.m. We're not expecting any change, but we'll have to keep an eye on Fed Chair Powell's comments at 2:30 to see if there's any hints of a potential September rate cut, as we do have increased interest and speculation about a potential September rate cut for the U.S. economy here. In terms of the DXY, what's really interesting is we have this wick down into that 103.90 and come back to rest at that previous area of support on the DXY on this daily chart at that 104.10 area. As you can see, we've bounced off this area quite a few times. So could be an interesting area. Of course, the DXY is very likely to change as we have Fed Chair Powell make his comments coming into that 2:30 p.m. time frame, but interesting level as of right now for the DXY. We got some data earlier today. Chicago PMI for July coming in a little bit higher than expected, 45.3 versus the estimate of 45. And pending home sales month over month also above expectations, 4.8% for June versus the estimate of 1.4%, with the prior number actually getting revised here to negative 1.9%. So no other data until we get the 2 p.m. meeting, but definitely keep an eye on the DXY and the market as we head into that period, guys.
All right. Just for context, we don't necessarily talk about P&L here, but we're about 4x the next closest on the floor right now. So it's been a good day. Just to talk about, like, you don't need a lot of trades. You don't even need to be that smart. And I talk about that all the time because if you need to be smart, then that wouldn't be the case for me. But there it goes. And we don't even have, we have AMD, and AMD right now is $3 right now in the money. So yeah, it's been a good day. But let's not get something twisted here. Just because we're having that big day, and I say 4 times, it's more close to 5 now. But the idea would be is that I could, one bad decision, and a lot of this can get wiped out. One good decision by any trader can make or break your day. And like I said, man, we talk about that. We're here to make money. We're here to talk about making money, and we're here to give you guys some ideas. And today we're making money. So we did it yesterday. We're doing it today. We've been doing it all month, and we're really some of the ideas that we've had, breakouts. Like I said, I feel like this is one of the best times, at least in a while. I mean, COVID was great too, but COVID was not really that I mean, it was huge, but, you know, I look around, you had to have been like that GameStop kind of, you know, really aggressive kind of trader on that to put up absolutely ridiculous numbers. But at the same time, that was great opportunities for many. And you guys know that I've been really focused on big tech names and hitting these, right? And so July's been great because the NASDAQ made all-time highs. And then now we're coming with a lot of volatility in some of these names. You know, so we had a $4 winner, a $3 winner on NVIDIA earlier. We put that up on Amazon, and here's another $3 for you on AMD, but we only have 20% left. So it is what it is. Shout out to Kyle Burdett and everybody there in the chat. I'm sure, Kyle, you'll get a lot of love from our midday show. So yeah, good days all around. But yeah, you know, just letting you know that it's been a pretty good one over here. So we'll probably get out of this if it breaks a little bit now. 146.70. And again, thank you so much. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you guys go over there and definitely, as we only have a couple minutes left, let me just do this real quickly. Do this, man. Go over here at stonks.com. Make sure you hit that QR code right now. It's completely free. Get your chance at $1,000 today. All right. Captain Protein nailed this yesterday. Let's see if one of us can do it. Let's see, man. I'm back tomorrow. We're back on Friday. Let's see if we can get a winner from our viewers, right? So hit that, man. Make sure you hit the QR code. You know, we just want to show them that, hey, the advertising's working and you're finding out about this from Trader TV Live. So, you know, we would really appreciate that. And again, man, let's just keep the good vibes going. Not only that,
let's have a winner from our show. Like I want one of us to win. Not one. There's going to be other people playing this, but let's bag Meta and then let's bag Apple tomorrow. Which I'm presuming it's going to be Apple. Apple's going to be the one tomorrow. So I think it's a fantastic. I put my bet in there. I have a random price. I put a line on a chart. And I'm like, screw it, let's just go 40, whatever, 45, 66, just have some fun with it, because that's what it's all about. So make sure you scan that QR code. But also want to shout out to Ben Zinga. I would prefer that they had just given good news on Boeing, but they didn't. Boeing just said their cash burn is expected to be faster or whatever, more rapid than last year. The exact headline, maybe we'll get that in the chat, but yes, larger than forecast cash burn in Q3 and for the year. So this is the candle to the downside on Boeing. Clearly, we're not going to get the breakout that we're looking for, but the good news about a breakout trade, if it doesn't break, you don't have to take it. So thankfully, we're not in a long in Boeing because it never set up. I said I didn't like any dip buys on Boeing, and I'm going to stick with that. The trend did break on ARM here, so broke 140. It was like 140, 180. I got 140.75. It pulls back into VWAP. We'll grab that. It did bounce off 140 here. So I think there's going to be a chance for some reloads off of VWAP as ARM pulling back with almost everything. I mean, not the entire market pulling back in. With only 4 minutes to go, nothing burger on Microsoft, unfortunately. Sometimes earnings are a great catalyst and you get a big day. Other times, you just get an inside day on Microsoft, which is it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not obliged to trade Microsoft just because they happen to report. Meta is setting up for a potential VWAP bounce. I want to keep eyes on that. This is the one that everyone's going to be betting on with stonks.com. As said, I drew a trend line and just happened to like it up here. We'll see what we get there. And Tesla holding on to the trend as well. So the only other thing I'm in, Tesla, if it loses this, we got to jump out of it. I'm not thinking reverse short on Tesla, but if it loses the quarter, I'm jumping out of that trade. That's right in here, Tesla. Hanging on for dear life. I do like one other short trade, but it's nowhere near to that level. And like we said, I'm glad Sean got AMD because I liked VWAP on AMD. It just never came. Your chance to get VWAP was here, VWAP. But I wasn't looking at AMD when it was at VWAP. I saw it after it got to VWAP. So I tried to get it the second time through. It didn't pick me up, or I guess pick me down. I don't know how you phrase that. Pick me up, I guess, on the way up. But if it breaks 145, things could get very nasty. And if it does get very nasty, my eyeballs are on Micron. Still 109 breakdown on Micron. Right over here. With only 3 minutes to go, I said one idea on Micron has yet to happen, but when it does happen, I'm going short. That's 109 here on MU. Up 7.5%, hasn't made its move. When it does, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, same thing. I was just saying, like, I was waiting for VWAP as well, but I mean, you know,
I'm still waiting.
That's the thing. Like, I played the breakout. So I played the breakout short through 148. We averaged into the 200 period moving average, and as they say, the rest is history right now. Unfortunately, I know a lot of you are saying, forget about all these things that we talk about. What the heck's for lunch? So you know what? I don't know. I don't have it yet. So we don't have what's for lunch yet. So that was a little bit of a dramatic opportunity there for everybody to realize that I do not know what's for lunch. And when I do, I will tell everybody in the chat, or maybe, my guy Sharif over there will definitely let you guys know as well. But for right now, what's for lunch? I don't know. Neil, if you could pick a lunch, what would you want for lunch?
Us or like...
No, for like a generic lunch.
Well, I want the floor to get jerk chicken because I usually do that pretty well. So
okay,
I mean,
so
we're not gonna. We get a salad, so it's not gonna. They don't put jerk chicken on the salad, but
I know Costco does sushi now.
They're not gonna do sushi. A caterer is not gonna bring sushi.
No. But yeah, that would be pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my kids will probably. I mean, I like to, let my kid try that Costco sushi, and then I'll try it after that.
I'm picky when it comes to sushi, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to make sure that it's aight right now.
Don't get sushi from just anywhere. Like, there are some things like I don't care. Like, I'll eat a chicken wing from just about anybody.
Anywhere either.
Anywhere.
Make sure that you guys continue to log in every single day. Follow your boy right over here. Follow all of us. As we say, we are now 5. So there it goes, man. That's there. Big day right now coming through as AMD just continues to move lower and our net just keeps going, man. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening here into today, man. Big day trading. And I just hope that all of you are able to kind of like understand the trades that Neil and I are putting on. And again, a lot of thank yous to Bears versus Bulls. Again, thank you to Neil. Thank you to Sharif, Adara putting that watch list together. Fantastic. Big time movements there. Thank you. What are you guys doing? Gap, retracement, Fibonacci, measuring gaps right there. So thanks to Sharif for putting the work in Adara. I think it's Sharif that pretty much does the lessons. Or you guys, well, yeah. So thanks to Sharif, the teamwork over there, making some kind of dreams work. I don't know what kind of dream, but they're making it work over there. Then Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s. And a big shout out to Captain Protein behind us for getting stonks.com going through again, in which a contest that I will probably win tonight, as Meta at 4:30 will be at $499.95. And I may get it exactly right to the penny. I'm not banking on that, or am I banking on even being $10 close? I have no idea, but that's the best part about it. Make sure you go up immediately. Do it right now. I'd like to find the QR code for you guys one more time as it's 11 o'clock. There's the QR code up on the screen. Go scan that immediately. I hope it works. I'm sure it does.
I've already
and the link. Yeah. And there's a link in description right there as well. So make sure you can scan that, grab that link in description. Tell stonks.com that you're from Trader TV Live, and we'll hopefully have bigger and similar promotions like that to go. So yeah.
Bigger and better as
bigger
always.
And better as we go. Let's just keep going. The trades keep getting bigger and better. So why not the advertisers?
Oh, it is already, apparently it's already 11 o'clock, so that's probably why we're talking about the midday. You know what's good. We'll probably come on a few minutes early for that Fed non-decision at 2 o'clock. I say non-decision because they're leaving rates exactly the same. I think we all know that. But it doesn't matter. When he hits the podium, we're going to bring it to you guys live, just like we always do. So for now, for Sean, for myself, and the entire team, let's head on to the midday where you're going to learn to trade some more gaps. Go Sharif in it.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that